stop your shit. I'm the shit, just give it up. Everything is okay, even when I'm not. Time to bring it to the table.
In the past year that I moved here, I taught myself absolutely everything. Like I taught myself how to work the OBS. I taught myself how to work the Logic, because I was kind of like getting discouraged. Like there's nobody to help you.
Yeah.
There's nobody to help you. There's nobody to give you guidance. There's nobody to say, yo, do this, do that. And then you get frustrated when you can't figure this shit out. Yeah. You know, it's not a game, but at the same time, it's so rewarding, man. When I can't be taken advantage of, or I know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean?
Everything's
so
like,
rewarding.
We can come to me.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, it's your boy, okay? Everything is okay. I'm in the building with my man, Ed. Yo, what up, baby?
What's up, man?
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Thanks for
How you
having me.
been? Of course.
Good.
Thanks for being here.
Good. You know, we were just talking about basically the
This.
whole game of podcasting.
Yep.
Right? How you got into it, how I got into it.
Yep.
You know, and there's a lot of respect both ways about doing this and how hard it is to do this.
Yep.
You know, by yourself. And
Yep.
I didn't even do it by myself. I had some help. And you're grinding it out.
What help did you have?
So I had a couple of friends, right, back in high school,
Okay.
and they got into podcasting really early.
Okay.
It's this one kid. His name's EJ. He still does it today, right?
Okay.
He's working for Channel 1 News.
Really?
Yeah. So he's hard into media. So
Yeah.
this is a smart kid, right?
Yeah.
So he got his brothers involved, right? They started like their own little like media company, right? Called New Generation Media, and he's what made me fall in love with this media, right?
Wow, he was just your friend.
He was just chilling, and he was just like, you know what? I love this. I love that. I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to get my brothers and everybody else involved, right? So I saw that.
How many years ago you think?
Oh, easily 10. Like I'm talking like middle of high school, like sophomore, junior year, like that. I've been listening to him.
Wow.
So we checking him out, seeing what he's doing, seeing how he went from kind of like a setup where we got, where it's like you and a table, you and a mic, just talking, right? And then it's like, let me bring in that person. Let me bring in this person. Let me talk about the things that I want to talk about, right? So he started off with sports, love sports, big basketball fan, right? His brothers are big into Marvel movies, right? Or all kind of cinema. So what they do, they branched out, and they slowly like started to branch out. So about a couple of years ago, I was like, I have the same fucking feelings. Like, I can talk about this shit. I can get into this. I can sit down in front of a microphone. I can talk for 3 hours if I have to, right?
All by myself?
All by myself. It doesn't matter. I don't have to talk to anybody. Like, I could just talk. Right?
All by myself.
So, I'm watching this kid, and he's getting, he's only getting a couple views. He's not like, he's not out there getting like thousands of views. This is early on, right? And he's still doing it every day.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
Day.
It wouldn't matter.
Like clockwork. Doesn't matter because he loved it, right? And I was like, I need something to put my energy into that isn't work, that isn't sports, that isn't something that I do on a daily that I can still express myself, right? And I can make a point, and maybe somebody wants to hear the shit I got to say, right? Because, in our own heads, we're all funny.
Yes.
We all got shit people need to hear.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So I'm watching this kid, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm like, I got to do this, right? So I got a Mac, just like you got a Mac. I got it in like, I don't know, 2012.
That's what
I got
12 and 13.
It's got like the oldest program. Like, they're so old you can't even put the new programs on.
That's why I have it.
Yeah. Exactly. And I'm like, I'm not upgrading. Like, I don't need to upgrade.
I just needed to do what I needed to do.
Whatever 2012 was good enough for 2020, like, it doesn't matter, right? So I'm talking to like my best friends. Like, I got my best friend Brian, who I went to school with, played baseball with, known since I was, like 12 years old, whatever it was. And I got my other friend Matt. We met online. He was a gamer kid. They played like like Call of Duty, all these games with my younger brother, right? He's only a year younger than me, not like a huge difference. And turns out we both the three of us wanted to do a podcast. Like, we've all been like, kind of like thinking about it. We're like, so let's just throw it together. Like, how hard could it be to throw a little money?
Did you feel like you've been podcasting for a while without the cameras there?
Yeah, that's what it was always like. It's like every time you have a conversation, it's like, why isn't any of this
recorded?
Right? So we were like, screw it. I got the computer. We don't know shit about editing. We didn't know shit about anything that had to do about podcasting whatsoever. We didn't know how to get on the websites. We didn't know how to get on the platforms. We were like, let's just do it, right? So for you got it set up.
Yeah.
Right? To me, like, you got a place to do it. You got peace of mind to do it.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't have any of that, right? And that's what made podcasting tough, right?
Where did you do it, in a room?
Well, basically, so that's what we had to do. We had to so there's three of us, right?
Okay.
And we're like, we'll put the money in.
Yeah.
Right? We'll start out the three of us. So the first podcast we ever did was baseball. We're like, we all know sports. How hard could it be to talk for 3 hours about baseball? Easy, right? We all know what's going on. We all have different opinions. Fuck it. Throw it down. Do it. Dude, we did that podcast in my friend's basement, right? With the boiler going off and the sound exploding everywhere. And people are burping and coughing and shitting into the microphone. And nobody's got any clue about what the fuck we got to do, right? And now everybody's looking at me like I'm some grand wizard. Like,
Ed, what we do?
Like lay it down. Like everyone's got to set it up. But we threw that shit together, and you know what? It was a lot of fun. And we're like, you know what? We got to do this shit again.
That was the point, though.
Right? And that's what it was supposed to always be about. And that's what it should always be about, right? Sitting down, good conversation, having fun, right? And boy, was it tough.
Of course.
Like everybody.
How often did you come together?
So we tried to do it every week.
Okay, once a week?
You know, because originally there was 3 of us, right?
All right.
So 3 of us, to manage 3 people's schedule, not too bad.
No, yeah,
You know,
but do you always have to be with 3?
So that was the plan. The plan was like, let's keep us core, the 3 that like the ones who wanted to set it up and do it, and let's bring in some other people who know about this topic or that topic, or friends that we have that like weren't interested in throwing down the money, but we're interested in being a part of it.
Yeah, no, they're interesting.
Yes, exactly. So we brought in my friend Charlie and my friend Robbins and my friend Bala, and they all got different jobs and they all have different outlooks, and they're all fucking funny guys. Everybody's funny.
Are they all from Queens?
They're all from this all from Queens. Everybody's funny. You know what I mean? So we're like, how could this go wrong, right? And now here's me sitting in front of a computer that I barely know how to use, with a program that I barely use, and now I got to edit.
What, the audio that you just did?
The audio that
with GarageBand?
With GarageBand. You know? So here's something that I want to ask you about, right?
What?
So I know that you rapped, right? I know that you have a musical background. I know that you're used to either being by a mic, being in front of a mic, talking to a mic.
Kind of.
So you have to have a general idea of what you're looking for editing-wise. Not saying that you did the editing.
No.
But you have a general knowledge of what's going to happen.
Pretty much.
I had no fucking clue. Right?
Yeah, no, I do. How many cameras did you guys use at
None.
first?
We didn't use any cameras.
So it's just audio.
It's just audio. So you'd think only audio would be easier, right? It wasn't.
Plays tricks with your ears.
It does. So now we have 5 microphones going, right? It took us a month to pick the microphones.
Of course.
Right? We didn't go like super expensive, but just to find.
You just had no idea what the fuck to do.
Exactly, man. So we were like, we got to pick something that's quality and that's going to work, hopefully,
without killing our pockets.
Exactly. So we got the stands, we got the booms, we got the pop filters, we got all that, right?
Yep, I had all that shit loaded too. Look, you see where it's at now, right? All gone. They're up there.
Exactly. But you get to that point eventually. When you first started, you didn't get there, right? When you were first there, you were like, I need all this.
I was by the book with everything.
That's exactly
you see it on YouTube. That's what we gotta get this. We gotta get that. We gotta get this.
So you're talking about the visual, right?
Yeah.
The visual is great. When I watch your podcast, great idea.
Thank you.
It's so smart to just being able to cut stuff together, have different angles, different views. Beautiful.
You know what's crazy? I don't even cut it. One button.
That's great.
One button.
That's
from
great.
you to me.
But that's perfect. You know what I mean? So like, we're gonna be all over the place because there's so much to talk about.
That's the point of a pod,
right? So think about it this way, right?
Yeah.
Not only when you start a podcast, now you got to start, get your
everything
podcast
else
out there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the hardest part.
So now, my friends, maybe you're different. We're not big social media people.
I try, but I'm nothing compared to these kids.
You see some like you'll never see me with like 50 posts in a week, 10 posts in a week, even a post a week. You know what I mean? Like I'm very like pick and choose, sporadic, whatever it is, because the shit I want to put out there, I want to give a shit about, right? But now I'm dropping a podcast every week, and now I got to come up with a thumbnail, or I got to come up with a catchphrase, or I got to name a podcast, or I got to do this, or I got to do that.
You got to get clips and little parts.
Exactly, and I got to put it on something. Now I don't know how to do any of this. I don't know how to edit on my phone. I don't know how to edit on this and transfer.
You didn't know how to do none of that.
It's not my expertise, right? But I got 4 other people, right? So I'm like, let's all lean on one another. We'll figure it out. That was the whole plan, right? So, I knew start the podcast. I can talk all day, right? What can you do?
Exactly.
Right? Oh, I can get us on Spotify. I can get us on this. I can get us on iTunes. My friend Matt, great at that stuff, right? Always knew how to plug stuff together was always trying to build us into different, like, we're on Google Play Music.
Nice.
We're on iHeartRadio.
Nice.
We got us onto all these
You're
things,
on all the
right?
platforms.
All the platforms. So, you know, when I start a podcast or when I finish a podcast, I can be like, hey, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, go to YouTube, go to
You
this,
learn
go to
that too.
And you learn, and that becomes part of your say goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't forget this. And it's funny because, like, me and you, we probably watch YouTube videos 1,000 times.
YouTube is my encyclopedia. I say it all the time.
And those people say that shit constantly, and we're just like, yeah, whatever. And then you're the creator, and you're like, fuck, I gotta say that, and I gotta make sure it's right, right? Because you need to drive that.
Yes, and you could only hit a home run if you swing the bat. So if you're swinging the bat on every podcast you do, on every song you make, if you're swinging the bat constantly, you're bound to hit a home run with somebody or something.
Absolutely.
Something's bound to catch some fire.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Even your next thought.
Yeah.
Like I've hit walls. We all hit walls.
Of course.
But it's keep going around the wall. Go through the wall if you really love it.
Yeah.
Andrew Schultz just did a podcast with Rogan.
Okay.
And Schultz said it. Schultz said people with money would make fun of me or clown me or talk down to me or say I was an idiot if I told them what I did. And Joe's like, what you did? He's like, yo, I took all my money that I had and I bought this studio. I didn't know how I was going to make it back. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was doing what I loved. Yeah. And then COVID hit. And there's no way to record but my studio. You did it out of love. Yeah. And something more came out of it, just like you guys. Yeah. You guys genuinely shared a connection and love for it.
That's exactly what it was. So my question for you is, when it comes to putting out your videos, like on Instagram, like thought has to go into that little minute, 2 minute, 3 minute clip that you put out there. And that takes time. People don't realize the effort that you put in every time you post something. Because not only are you putting yourself out there, but you just put an hour's worth of work out there. You know, on top of taking care of all the shit
you only got 5 views.
And that's it. But you know what? You'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you'll do it the next day and you'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, for me, it was like, okay, I got to make this as easy as possible. I got to link all of these things together. So when I upload to one thing, it uploads on all things, right? So that was my biggest thing. All right, let's do that. Then it's like, you know, I'm not really good at, you know, Twitter. Twitter's like an all-day thing.
You need to be a genius on Twitter, though.
Oh, my God. You have to be
I just had this convo with Jam.
You
need to be a fucking wizard. Like, but you can penetrate.
Oh, absolutely.
You can get these motherfuckers mad.
But you need to be there.
Yes.
And if you're not there constantly, you're not really there at all.
No.
So between my 3 friends, not mentioning the Outliers did their part. Between me, Brian, and Matt, we all kind of took a job.
Okay.
Right? I was going to do as much as I can to bring in content. I was going to do as much as I could to edit, post, make sure everything was up. Matt was going to make sure we were always connected, make sure everything was linked up. If we ever had an issue, he was like tech support kind of.
Got you.
Still brought the ideas, still brought the knowledge, still brought the fun.
But that was his part.
His part was the
that
ideas.
he excelled in.
And then Brian was like, which is where we're going to differ a lot when it comes to podcasting. He was these are the subjects we're bringing. These are the questions we're bringing. This is what we're bringing every day.
He would give you your syllabus.
Exactly. So this was my big wall, right? And I blame myself a lot for, you know, our podcast and not taking off as much as it could, or like still grinding it out as much as we could, despite all the other issues that we'll get into. But it's, you know, I wanted to make sure when we sat down at this table, we had something to talk about.
Okay.
Right? So like me and you, we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
We probably talk all freaking night. You know what I mean?
We don't really need something.
We don't need something.
But when you're doing it with a group constantly?
Yes. When it's all the same people, when it's all the same this, like, it's not that your stories become devalued or less important. It's that you've heard them 15 times.
You want to show growth.
Growth, and you want to actually care on the mic. You know, if we have a conversation, like, let's say we hung out every day, me and you, and every day me and you talk about how I started my podcast and how you started your podcast, this podcast would suck.
Absolutely.
We would have no interest in one another.
Nope.
We'd be like, yeah,
I heard this already.
Been there, whatever.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Great. There's no.
And then you do this.
Yeah. There's no genuine reaction.
No,
right?
It's not organic anymore.
Exactly. So, you know, we wanted to stick in that lane where it was like, we saw, like, I don't know if you see it this way, but sports, right? If you're doing sports, you got to stick to sports.
And you got to be a genius.
And you got to be smart, and you got to care, and you got to care every single time.
Or you could be a Michael Rappaport, just fucking.
But we're not.
We're not.
We're not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go into somebody's lane knowing that I'm going to be that person.
Exactly.
I'm going to be in my lane.
Yeah.
But we knew, based on the 3 of us, although we love sports, we're great at sports, we also saw what our audience wanted to listen to. And when we did like 3 or 4 other episodes that were not sports related, we had more people listen. We had more people care, right? We had more people engaged. It was better. It was like, all right, so let's not abandon the idea of sports.
No.
But this isn't a sports podcast.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is a variety podcast. Like, we need to do shit that we care about, but we still got to know that, you know, we don't want only dudes listening to our podcast.
Nope.
We don't want only women listening to our podcast.
Nope.
You know, we don't want to denigrate or segregate or anything.
You want to make a fan base of your podcast, whatever it's made up of.
Yeah, and, you know, the people, it would surprise a ton of people who think that, you know, when you ask for, hey, let us know what you want to hear, let us know what you want to think, like, you have a question you want to ask us, just putting that out there, if you get a bite, a nibble, that could drive an entire podcast.
Absolutely.
And those people become important to you, so you want to listen to those people. You want to engage those people who are engaging you, right? Why would you want to turn your back on them?
Like, as soon as they send you an email, I got you on my mailing list now. Now, anything that's exclusive or new, since you're a fan, I send it right to you first. As my appreciation.
Yeah, show that you care. Show that you give a shit.
And now that fan tells his friend, like, oh shit, when he sit next to me, yo, they got new bandanas in. From what? This guy I follow on this podcast. Yo, look at this. And then it just, oh shit, let me get on that mailing list. You know, it's a trickle, and then it turns into a fucking flow.
Yeah. When you first started uploading, right? If you think back to that now, is there something you know now that you wish you knew then? I know you're not that deep into it, right? A couple months, even if it's a year, everybody's learning, right? Like for us, this is going to sound really stupid. In the beginning, we didn't hashtag anything. You know how important it is to fucking hashtag shit?
Absolutely.
You don't realize it, right? I'm not even talking like your social media posts. I'm talking like your post to SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I'm talking about your post to
everywhere.
iTunes, everywhere. That shit is so important.
And you got to stick with your hashtag and others, but one that is specific to you.
Yeah, and you got to put stuff that fucking people are going to click on.
Yes.
We used to make podcasts. I used to hashtag sentences. Nobody's searching for a sentence that I fucking
All you have to do is put one word.
One word. That's it. It's so simple, yet it drove so many changes in our podcasting. It's incredible.
When did you realize that change? Who helped you to notice that, or how did you notice it?
It was internal.
It was an accident?
It was just an accident.
You just hashtag something. You lose right up.
It's not even like hashtagging in general. It was the specific places. Like you've uploaded to SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Right?
No, not any. Only music.
Only music.
Only music.
So when you upload music, I'm sure it's the same if you upload a podcast there.
Yeah.
There is a specific box that is just for hashtags. Right? And we weren't putting shit there. We were putting everything in the description, right? And thinking it would have the same effect. It doesn't.
Nope.
Absolutely doesn't. But this is the shit you find out, you know?
Yep.
You don't have anybody telling you this. You don't have anybody telling you that. You're just like, we're going to wing it here and there, and everything's going to be different once.
So you guys didn't have nobody that mentored you with nothing? See, I was fortunate. I can't be a liar and not say that I did get to see. Like, I used to co-host Artistry with my homegirl V, a hip hop podcast.
When you guys post, I look at the post. I try to follow them.
Up until a couple weeks ago, I was her co-host, and everything I saw her doing, she did hashtag everything. I didn't take on to it because it was just like, nah. Then when I just, like, after my sister passed, I started twitching. This half-an-hour conversation with her once a week wasn't doing it for me. I needed more. Yeah. I needed more, and that's why I sought more. What was more tough was the departure of me and her. The departure of me and her has been very tough. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of love and friendship there. Yeah. But things have split separate, whether it be things I did, whether it doesn't matter. Just the fact of the matter of realizing how far I've come, I have to give her, and not only her, but like I say it all the time, I'm a baby of all these people. Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub, Joey Diaz. The Joe Budden podcast, the Artistry. I'm a baby of all of them because due to how they brought their visuals, what it looked like, clickbait I got from Rogan. Yeah. All the clickbait I got, I even took from Tekashi. Tekashi names all his songs like Boba and Kiki and Wally. You know how he does that? Because it's simple. You could go Keke. And it draws fine. Yeah. You know, absolutely. You find that, you learn that all this shit as you go. My first podcast, if you asked me if there was anything that I specifically remember I didn't do, I couldn't be myself. Yeah. It was so hard because I bought all this equipment, and I bought this $200 mixer. I bought the $100 the preamp. I bought the this is my sister's computer, but I bought the computer. I bought the $200 software, you know, and you sit here, you know, I got the microphone, and I sit here and I connect everything, and I get so insecure because now I'm like, all right, this ain't right. Something's wrong. Something's not connected. I got to keep watching the camera. I got to keep this conversation with somebody. Like, I tell him all the time, yo, salute to my friend Be Good, my very first podcast, and everything is okay, because he was my guinea pig.
those are important, man.
And it's real for me to say, like, it was my guinea pig. You know, my first 4 podcasts on YouTube don't have audio on both stereo. It's only on the right side.
That shit you learn, though, it's crazy. Like, put it this way. Our first podcast, right? 3 hours long, right? 3 hours long. I edited that podcast because we were like, every lull, every stop in sound, every somebody accidentally touches the mic. We were trying to be so professional, and like we wanted you to listen and have a good listening experience. Mind you, like I said, we had the radiator going off, we had air conditioners turning on.
Watch, don't say that word.
You know what I mean? Like, you had people banging the table. Like, we were like, fuck, like, we can't have people listen to this. People aren't going to fucking listen to this shit. And that was our subconscious. Like, It was like, we are so worried.
You want another beer?
Yeah. Or at least I was, you know?
But that's how we are, though.
And that's a big part of it. You don't realize. Hold on, let me finish.
No, you don't realize your OCD or your perfectionist wants or the qualities that you have. Like, those are qualities. Those are good qualities.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean?
But when you're first starting, they can kill you, man.
Oh yeah, they can stop you before you start.
Everybody worked. I'm not trying to take away from anybody else that podcast, because everybody put in a lot of work for that podcast. But you go to work, you leave work, you go home, then you got to meet your buddies to do the podcast, which is always a good time, always a lot of laughs, right? But then you're stressing over, what are we talking about? What are we going to say? And
pre-production,
all that pre-production, and then after you're done, now I got to go home and I got to make sure we hit a deadline. I got to edit this. I got to listen to it.
Yep. I
got to make sure it's all ready so that when I put it out there, we're the best represented.
Yep.
And I got to do all that stuff.
Yep.
And when that falls on one person, like it falls on you or it fell on me, it's not that they weren't saying, oh yeah, we will help you. It's not that. I wanted to do it. I got to do this.
So
I got to get it right.
Pressured yourself.
But then it's like, I don't listen to my podcast once and edit it. I edit it once, then I listen to it to make sure it's right, and then I re-edit it to make sure it's perfect, and then I put it up. I'm talking like 6-7 hours on top of every fucking else that I was doing. And, I loved it. But after you post that, I don't even want to listen to it anymore.
Nah, you're done.
I'm done with it. And that's not good. That's not healthy.
That's hard because now you don't have the enthusiasm to share it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're drained.
Yeah. And for me at least, I relied on everybody else. You got to help me push this.
Yes.
You got to help me push
Everybody got to play a part, yeah.
And people would come up to me, and we'd have full conversations about the podcast, and I'd be so happy to talk to people about the podcast, right? And then I'd be like, man, I can't believe I don't remember that specific part of that specific podcast.
Yeah.
And you know why? It's because I listened to it so many fucking times. It's drained out.
It goes right over. I
have people ask me, oh, you remember podcast this? You said that, and that? And I'm like, yeah, there's like 5 podcasts. which one of those 5 where we talked about that thing? You know what I mean? They kind of overlap. You know what I mean?
I might have changed my opinion by now.
Give me a specific.
That's the best part about podcasting too. Yeah. Cheers, my brother.
And you gotta love that stuff.
Yo,
you gotta love when people care.
You do. You gotta love when people they hang on your word.
Yeah.
It does suck sometimes when they hang on every word because I've gotten checked. Like I've gotten checked by my own father. My own father's been like, "Yo, why are you spitting this raw narrative on me? Come sit down. Let me." I'm like, "Yo, this is what I knew."
Yeah.
That's
what you were taught.
That's another thing. It opens conversations now because as long as you're able to be a person in these seats and have these conversations on camera, you should be willing to have them off.
Yeah.
So when my father comes to me and says, "Yo, let me tell you this narrative," it gives me a different perspective. I would never have got that unless my opinion was voiced to him. And sometimes you just can't tell the person, but you can say it to your friend.
Yeah, yeah. And like you're very real on these podcasts, which is awesome. It's super authentic. It's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like for us, as certain members got new jobs, as certain people had to go do stuff, or when the group was smaller, I would try to make shit up, not to like be dishonest, but to make shit funny, to like have jokes and stuff like that. So we would do all these weird things, but I'm doing that shit in my head. I'm not telling people like, oh, this is fake, that's fake, blah blah blah. Don't worry.
You just letting it go.
I'm just trying to get shit out of people. I'm trying to get anger and emotion out of people. You know what I mean? Because that's funny. Right, you want that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we did. You watch Game of Thrones?
I have watched Game of Thrones.
It doesn't matter.
I heard your pod on Game of Thrones.
Doesn't matter.
You guys were crazy on that podcast.
But that was me just trying to get something out of somebody. You know what I mean? Just trying to get anger. And my friend got mad.
That was one of your last ones too, right?
One of
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Because we took a big break. Having a space is so crucial.
I read this to you.
You've offered that to me. I really appreciate that. I do.
You don't have to do nothing but talk. I do everything, and I'll give you the footage and the audio,
which is something we'll have to talk about.
That's how I want to build my brand. Rent my space. I record everything for you. I do your audio. All you got to do is come here and talk your shit.
Yeah, it's smart. No, I totally feel that. But it's not just me.
No, of course
not.
What I mean?
So I got people I got to run that past, and now it's schedules. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because before. When we first started, we were still kind of young. So the jobs we had, easy jobs.
Yeah, it wasn't no man shit just yet.
I got one guy doing, I got people working for city jobs. City jobs are demanding, hours demanding, times are demanding.
Yes.
Right? I got other people that are managers in big corporations and they got shit they got to do.
Yes.
Right? And that stuff's not easy.
Nope.
And then to come home, and if you don't live by yourself, I still live with my parents. I'm old as fuck. I shouldn't be living with my parents. I totally get that. Mm-hmm. But I got other friends that do that same shit too. And
I don't think that's so bad though.
Out.
Yeah.
Hear it this way. So we would go to my friend's house, right?
Okay.
And we would record in his basement.
Okay.
So now we had a designated space in my friend's basement that his parents and family couldn't use. So
yes.
We took that area over. Mm-hmm. And they were very kind. Then his sister moved out, right? And now she needed a place to put stuff. So now we lost that space, right?
Yes.
So we were like, okay, we got to find somewhere else. So let's go upstairs in their living room.
Okay.
They were gracious enough to give us their living room.
What did you have as your setup?
We had
a mixer, 4 mics?
We had a mixer, 4 or 5 mics, depending on who was there.
And a computer.
That's real simple. But the mixer that we bought a super expensive mixer because, unlike you, we didn't buy software. We rocked with GarageBand thinking that we could get everything done on GarageBand, which we did.
You could.
We totally did. But what we couldn't figure out was why we couldn't edit audio individually. We would have, I don't know, I'll look at your computer later.
Well,
but we had every single track running in a straight line all at the same time. And all the audio was picked up at once. And that made things very difficult when you got 5 mics talking. Because you can't single out certain ones. Right? And it took took me forever. I keep saying us. This is a me thing. To edit audio
individual sounds.
Individual sounds. Yeah. Cutting out individual sounds. Making sure if I'm editing this small little section that I didn't just throw off the entire realm of the podcast. You know what I mean? Because you can make a bad cut somewhere and people are like, fuck. You know what I mean? It screws shit up. So
on OBS, I'll be honest. I'll show you the audio. Our audio is going to be on one wave.
Yeah, but there should be a way to separate it though. We were really concerned.
There is through OBS. You can open up. It's just the only reason I would see fit to separate. Honestly, the only reason I would see fit to separate is if you're unaware of sound. You see, while we were talking, the first thing I did was I just make sure you're good. I make sure I'm good. From there I go.
Yeah.
Because I trust my equipment to pick up the rest of the sound, and you keep your. If you were low, all I would have to do is turn you up.
Very easy. So, but when you're in a nice close space here, right? So you got good ample sound.
You had that echo.
Not that we were echoing, but if I was sitting on that side of the room, you'd be sitting on this side of the room.
Okay.
And then there's 2 chairs in between us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but let's say I'm the main focus of talking. I got 5 other mics that are picking up sound.
Yeah.
Not just from my
voice.
They're
picking up the background.
But from everything else.
Yep.
So if I could shut those 5 mics off when I know I'm the only one talking, that improves my audio quality.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, that's nothing to do with the specific mic you have.
Nope.
That's not the program.
Nope.
That's just the way sound works.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If I shut that down, you're good to go. But we couldn't figure out how to do that. So we had, in the very beginning, if you listen to our early shit, which is not great, there's a lot of white noise. You don't realize that that air conditioner is fucking loud.
See, you won't hear.
You got 5 mics on.
You've heard my podcast last couple ones. Do you hear that anything?
No.
You know why? It's actually iMovie. iMovie has a little thing that you just reduce you take out background noise, so all background noise is gone.
And it's nice when you can record because you know exactly where you're going to be every week, and you can do this. I can't go into somebody's house, or at least I don't feel comfortable to go into somebody else's house.
Yeah.
Set up cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
put all their shit on display, put all their shit on blast. That's not right. You know, that's not what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to be appreciative of the spot that you gave us.
And the time.
And the time that you gave us, and we're going to do the best that we can in that time.
Yep.
And I felt, personally, I'm sure the other guys felt similar, if we weren't doing that, we were wasting that person's time.
You were taking advantage.
Yeah, and I didn't like to do that.
And that's even more pressure on you guys to perform each time. Because it's like, and that's what, like I said, with my first podcast, I wasn't having fun. I was just performing. Came to a point, like, I felt like a monk, like a performing monkey. It's only been over the past 3 weeks that I'll be honest, 3 weeks that this activation that I have gotten where I don't feel like it's work. Yesterday I was here for those 8 hours editing the 4 podcasts that I made on Saturday. Editing all 4 audios, all 4 videos, uploading all 4 videos to YouTube, uploading all 4 videos to Anchor, in which order they can go on all the streaming platforms. They're available while I have Call of Duty on. So while they're uploading, I can just get my mind off of it, because if I look at it for too long, I'll miss something. Yeah. And then when everything's finished, I take another hour. Yo, it was 2:30 in the morning last night. I woke up. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to the back room. I went to the back room. I just cut up a whole bunch of 1-minute clips because I love it, though. Like, I don't care about getting... I just put out a clip about Yan. Remember Yan, Chris Clark? I just put out a clip about, if it wasn't for Yan meeting Jam, Council...
I listened to this whole thing,
we would have never... That 1-minute clip got more views than me talking about my sister dying. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to me. It's just the fact that I feel like these conversations were had, so they deserve to be heard. That's all that it means to me. Like, that's why, like, going by the name Everything Is Okay. Yeah, my rapping name is okay, but Everything Is Okay. I think people fall into that when they get here. They get here because a lot of people, yo, what you want to talk about? I'm like, just anything we talk about. We talk all the time.
And that was the mentality we should have had. And that's why I appreciate what you do so much. Because it's nice that perspective. Like, a lot of, like, this might be self-reflection, and I'm sure my podcast buddies are going to listen to this, and they're going to hear it.
Oh no, this is going to be great.
You know what I mean? But that might be a lot on
slowly but easy. College Point is going to be taken over by a podcast. Watch, and I want y'all to come back because
absolutely. I would love to. Like my friend Matt, he wanted to come, but he's got work and he's got other stuff. So
we reschedule though. We could have him back. I would like to have all 3 of y'all here.
We would like to have you. Like, as soon as we get that situated, I always wanted to bring new people on. We always wanted to do that, right? And the reason that I got so passionate about it is because I saw how passionate my best friends were. Like, that's tough. You know what I mean? Like, when you're in it by yourself, it takes real grit. Yeah. Right? And when you have other people like, let's fucking do this shit, it really gets you going. Yeah. You know what I mean? It makes you want to do it.
Just like writing a song.
About Jam, right? I know Jam. Jam is the opening on our podcast.
I know you.
We asked him for permission to use his songs.
I screenshotted that message and I sent it to him. Yeah, and he was like, yo, bro, you don't know how much that shit touches me. Like, yo. That means a lot, though.
So, but that us using his song is a big part of our podcast growth. Like, you use music on your podcast.
That's me.
That's you, right? Or you use samples or beats that are free music. We were using real fucking music.
Bro, I paid for mine.
Or that. I'm not trying to like throw you under the bus.
But I had to learn that because YouTube will kick you off or give you copyright claims or it won't be allowed. Yes. You can't just take a Katy Perry song and want to throw it on your shit.
But that's what we were doing. You know what I mean? I didn't know any better.
I know.
Like, I'm a big music head, right? So on my Mac alone, I got like 12,000 songs. On my desktop, I got like 100,000 songs. But that's when, like LimeWire was
I know. When we went crazy and downloaded everything we could.
Everything I possibly could, right? But I love music. And I was like, I need it.
We grew up in the great era of it.
People used to brag about their iPod Touch and their Nano.
Fuck you. Look at my computer, bro.
Brick. I had 3 bricks filled with music. 168 gigs. All 3 filled with music. I would pick which one I wanted to use. Because I had so much music. I love music. Right?
You still have them?
I still have them. They're at my house.
Yo, them shits are worth money, bro.
Absolutely. They're loaded.
You can't find a lot of music? Like, I can't find Meet the Parents by Jay-Z anywhere.
So, like, I would edit the podcast, and I'm like, how do you start a podcast? Like, I'm not just going to be like, welcome to the Squoze podcast.
I feel so weird.
It's really weird, right? I was like, I need something to lead up into it, so I'm going to put some music. I'm going to put a fade. I'm going to fade it out. We're going to be live. I'm going to introduce everybody, say something fucking dumb, everybody, so they know what your voice is, and we're good to go. So I'm looking online, how much, copyrighted music can I use when I go to jail? You know what I mean? And they're like 10% of a song. If you use less than 10% of a song on a podcast, right, then it's legal.
I think it was like 2 seconds or 4 seconds or some dumb shit
on
like
the length
that.
of, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I guess I can do that. So in the very beginning, though, they were like 18 seconds long. I was like, that's a little long. And then it would be like 20 seconds. I'm like, that's a little long. So like in my head, I'm like, I'm going to get fucked. We're going to get fucked if I keep putting out shit that has copyrighted music on it. So I was like, who do we know that's got great music that we listen to that we know personally? And I knew Jam because I worked at Models with Jam. I played football with Jam. I knew Jam for a long time. And I know his song Facts Only. Mm-hmm. I listen to Facts Only all the time. I think that's a dope song. Mm-hmm. So I was like, Facts Only? We talk about shit that's facts? This makes perfect sense. I messaged Jam. Hey, Jam, can I use a small bit of your song, the opening to all of our podcasts? Absolutely. And that's what it's been since then. And that's respect. That's out of love. That guy's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, thank you for letting us use that. And if we ever made money or something, I would give that man something. You know, it's not about that though. It's about sharing. It's about camaraderie.
Jam might not even take it. Jam might just say, "Is it $1 million? I don't want it." Jam because of the love of you using it. Yeah. Just the fact that his name is on that,
and we shout him out. I tag him and everything. You know, and he puts us out there. Like if I mention him or whatever it is, he goes out there and mention it.
Yeah, you guys. You know, once you guys get activated, I want my sticker.
I gotta get those.
Ass, yo.
That logo, like, I spent a lot of money.
You drew that?
So I have a
friend. Because I looked at it and I wanted to ask you. I'm like, did he draw that?
I got a friend who's on that podcast with us. Go for it. His name is Andrew Robbins, right?
Okay. What a name.
Yeah, he's a graphic designer. He goes by Bird Brains. Right?
Okay.
Bird Brains NYC. You can find him on Instagram.
Okay.
Anywhere. Smart kid, funny kid, plays on my softball team. Hell of a drawer. I gave him one idea. And he took off with it, and he made a beautiful logo.
That is a beautiful logo. What's the name?
So that's a whole other thing.
All right, go logo first, then go name.
So the name of the podcast is the Squoze podcast, right? Squoze isn't a word.
No.
It's not a fucking word.
I looked it up.
It's not a word.
You know, you made me look it up, though, right? Like, because I said, what is this?
Yeah. Okay, so this is what happened, right? So if this is a cup.
What,
right?
a bit?
No, I'm all right for now. If this is a cup, right? And I go like this, I squeeze the cup, right? This is squeezing.
Yeah.
Right? So what's the past tense of squeeze?
I squozed it.
I squozed it, right? It doesn't make any fucking sense, right? But I'm dumb, right?
Yeah.
I said dumb shit.
Yeah.
Right?
I squozed it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yo, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Some people say dumb shit, and I'm one of those people. So when we were like, we need a name for the podcast, and everybody's got all this, you know, like, okay's good, but like, everybody's generic. Generic. And I was like,
you know what OK stands for, though, right? Out of character. That's the only reason it works.
I knew that. You put me on the spot. I knew that, though. But that's great.
You fucker that took my shit on YouTube. Yo, I did it first. But you had money behind your name, all right? I'm going to start coming up before you, motherfucker.
We had the same shit happen to us.
Oh, really?
Could you believe somebody had Squoze and tried to call us out on it?
No, they had it first?
I have no idea. I don't care. I have no idea.
I don't care. I don't care.
So
mine.
So some kid is a DJ, I guess down south or in Florida or some shit, like techno DJ, and his agent messaged us, and he was like, can you guys please stop using Squoze? And we were like, no. Like, what does your guy do? Is he big? He has less views than us. I was like, he's a nobody.
If it was real, you wouldn't have got an email. You would have got
I would have got something legit, not a message on.
You would have got a deposition.
We got a message on SoundCloud. Who are you?
That was his brother. That was his brother.
Exactly.
No, I'm his manager.
Or it was him.
Oh, it was him. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Could have been him trying to sound legit.
Exactly. So we laughed about it on the podcast. We were like, dude, if you really want this name, you can come take it from us. Like, it's not a big thing. Yo, I just say dumb shit, and we were like, Ed says dumb shit. Let's pick something dumb that Ed says, and we'll go with that. And he's like, Squoze, and I'm like, Squoze it is. But it works. It works for us.
Even the way you said it. What do you do when you do this?
Yeah.
What do you do when it's done already?
You Squoze it, man. What's that bottle? It's Squoze.
It's
Squoze. There you go.
Oh, that's definitely y'all word.
But that's
definitely y'all word.
That's what it is. But Andrew drew up the logo. We had him on the podcast a bunch of times.
You paid for it?
I paid for it.
Good.
Because you should support people that do fucking work.
You hear him, right?
That's all it is.
Nothing comes free.
Nothing comes free. He designed we have a softball team. Prior to him even being on the team, like, we knew each other from high school. We got close a couple years later as all this stuff kind of picked up. And he designed our softball logo, right? beautiful, gorgeous, full figured. He does all the stitching. Like, he can get us all the screen printings, do all that stuff.
That's dope.
And I paid him. And I paid him a lot because he's fucking worth it. And people that do shit in your life are worth it. You know what I mean?
You want to keep that.
Yeah.
Keep that business and that respect.
What was I going to do? Oh, yeah, do me a favor. Draw this up for me.
Thanks.
Waste 10 hours of your life. Thanks. It's not easy.
I put your name on it.
You know, he's got other shit to do, you know?
And not only that, you want the best work from people.
Mm-hmm.
When do people give you the best work? When you show them that you appreciate their best.
100%.
You know, like I can't stand when I do a track with somebody and you don't hear that shit for 3 years or you don't hear it at all. You know, so what did I put my effort in? Why did I put my effort in? I didn't charge you for it. I just gave you my heart, my effort.
Yeah.
You know, and I bet your friend was probably even willing to do that, but you saw more in him. Like, no, let me show you the way you appreciate somebody.
The first thing I said to him was like, "You're not doing this for free."
Huh.
You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't me coming up to you being like, "Hey, do me a solid." This was, I got something I need you to do.
Yep.
Right, and I'll pay you for it. Like, my brother, he's talking about maybe opening up a.
How is your brother, bro?
I have two. So my older brother.
How's your oldest brother?
My older brother Joe is good. He was working, you know, sadly because of COVID and everything, he got furloughed from work. So he's doing a lot of odd jobs. My brother's a great mechanic.
Car?
Smart guy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Does a lot of mechanical stuff. Brilliant mind on the mechanical side of the world. Like, the stuff my brother knows about vehicles, it blows my mind. You know, he's like one of those hands-on kind of guys. Like, he gets his shit. He knows his shit, right? So he was working for Peterbilt.
Okay.
You know, like selling big trucks.
The truck, yeah, I know.
You know, doing parts, stuff like that.
That's a fucking truck company right there, baby.
But on the side, he was helping people, fixing stuff. But he wants to do his own thing. He wants to be a real entrepreneur, make his money, and do shit like that. So I respect him. You know, it's tough to do that. It's not easy to start.
Nope.
But he's good, though. You know, God willing, he's not sick. You know,
I mean,
everything's okay in that world.
All it takes is him keep doing that effort. Mm-hmm. And him, like, you guys have always had such a good, righteous heart in College Point.
Yeah.
From, like, your oldest brother to you. I don't think I know your youngest brother.
You might.
I might.
You might.
I might. But, yo,
Do you know how you know me, though? If you think about how you know me, what's, like, your first memory of me? Does that make sense? I don't want to put you on the spot and make it weird.
Honestly, I remember spending time with you in 29.
Yeah?
I remember spending time with you in 29. I remember always having conversations with you at the bus stop.
Yeah.
Always had conversations with you at the bus stop. But specifically, I don't remember.
So 29 would be my recollection also. You're a year older than I am, right? You're 90
89.
Or 89. So you're 2 years older than me, right? So, like, I remember you as being, like, the cool kids at 29.
Hell no.
But
I was playing catch-up.
But, like, that's what we remember, though. You know what I mean? Like, as somebody who was 2 years behind, whatever it was, like, I saw you and some of the kids that used to hang out 29, and I'm like, those are the cool kids. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I know you in my head. Like, that's, you know, those are the guys. Do you remember Christian?
Of course.
Big Christian?
I was with Christian like 2-3 weeks ago.
When I think of 29, I think of you two. You know what I mean? Like, you guys were so cool to us. You guys were like, oh shit, yo, it's Christian and G. Like, those are the guys. But that's what I remember from you. You know? And then, like, we went to Bleecker.
Bleecker.
Right?
Those were great times.
Yeah, good times. You had Anthony on the podcast. Ramos.
I had Ramos, and I had Michaelides. I had Ramos.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
So
yeah.
I know Ramos. You know,
I know he lives out here, right?
Yeah.
Hold
on, I got a good
fucking
story.
Awesome.
I got a good story.
Go ahead.
So Ramos, right? I knew him as a big kid, right? He was a big kid back in Bleecker, right? And we never talked. Like, he always hung out in, like, your circles. Like, I wasn't in those circles. You know what I mean? I was just a big kid in the school.
Neither was I, bro. I was tailing. You just saw me there.
You were just having to be there, right?
Yeah. Please.
So, like, I remember seeing Anthony, and years later, I started working at Modell's.
Okay.
Over here on 20th Avenue in College Point.
Okay.
Right? That's where I met his soon-to-be wife, Lorraine.
Okay.
Right? So we started hanging out
for a while
because, you know, we all worked together. Now, I knew Anthony when he was big. I've watched him lose all this weight. He's done incredible. I've seen the journey he's taken. He now lives above my girlfriend's house. I see him all the time. I know Anthony so well. Anthony's a great person.
Yo, he's awesome.
Yo, such
and you know what's crazy? He used to be a bully.
Yeah.
When he was big.
I remember. Yeah.
He used to Michaelides. Michaelides said it. He was like, yo, Ramos used to pick on me, man. Anthony Lane, too. Anthony Lane used to get picked on by Ramos, too. He's so humble now, though.
We had a lot of years, like, prior to Anthony getting into Herbalife and everything he did, we hung out.
You know why he did that, right?
Oh, you did?
You know why?
Why?
His daughter.
Oh, really?
His daughter came out and he saw his wife doing the shakes and all that, but he didn't really get onto it. But he wanted to start being with his daughter and being with her and spending the time, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
when he said he tried one shake from her, got home later that night and said, "Babe, make me another one." And then he said after that, I was hooked. I started working out, and
I was in his wedding party.
Really?
I was at his wedding.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Small fucking world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Small fucking world, yo.
But he's worked his ass off. His wife works her ass off. They're a great family. They do a lot of shit, man.
I know they do.
And they're super proactive with Herbalife and everything that they do. It's great.
I see their support system, you know, having like 10,000 followers. And my cousin does Herbalife. She's a big shot in Jersey.
That's good.
And I realized all the people that she would make meal plans for, all the people that would call her, ask her for help, even in the middle of the night. It was almost like an AA thing. Because some people, you know, they can't help it. Some people they want to eat, they want to enjoy themselves, right? And
so, look at me.
they want to. Yeah, but you are pleasantly plump, B.
Dude, I've been big my whole life.
Yeah, you're pleasantly plump.
If you remember me, I've been big my whole life.
But that runs in your family, though, aren't
my older brother's the same size as me.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was 6 feet tall in the 5th grade.
That's fucking
when
bananas.
we were PS29, dude. I was the biggest person in our elementary school. Not student, person, like grown ass adult person, right? Like you don't understand. Like there was one time when we were at PS29. Do you remember the old library?
Yeah.
Right? Remember they used to have those big ass tube TVs?
Yeah.
That shit broke, right? And they had me and my older brother carry it down to our house. If you go right down 23rd Avenue, you know where 7-Eleven is? I'm like right over there. So me and my brother carried. We're in the 3rd and 5th grade, respectively, carrying a TV down 23rd Avenue, right? Because my older brother said he could fix it, and he did. And we carried that fucking TV at like 6 o'clock in the morning, all the way back up that big ass hill to 29 to drop that TV off.
You're some good students, bro.
We were giants, man. Big dudes.
Yeah, I think you guys are still the biggest guys in College Point.
No, big, like all around, height wise. I've seen some tall bros.
The only person I see really tall is Mike Bravo.
How tall is Mike Bravo?
Bravo's like 6'3", 6'4".
I'm 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, Bravo's like 6'3", 6'4".
There's another kid. I don't know his name. Maybe I think he goes by like Nick Too Tall or some shit like
Nick Too Tall.
He's like 6'7", 6'9". He's crazy tall. He's younger than me too, but that's the tallest kid I've seen around
Nick
here.
Too Tall.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
College concoction, yo.
You know, he's a big dude, man. But other than that, it's me and my brother, big fucking people.
Yeah, man.
Weight wise too.
Yeah.
Like talk about Anthony and his weight loss. Like for Ramos to do it that long, that consistently, and still be hungry and still driving, blows my mind. Yeah. I'll give you an example. A year and a half ago, recently, I lost 125 pounds. Right? I was the heaviest I ever been. I was 465 pounds.
Wow, boy.
I was killing myself.
Yeah.
Right?
Why? Is it your eating habit? Was it your eating habit?
Habit. I blew my knee out.
That's a big deal.
Really bad. I've been playing baseball my whole life.
Mm-hmm. I know you for that as well. Yep.
My whole life.
Mm-hmm.
People look at me, they don't realize how active I am.
Nah.
Like, we used to play handball
at
Memorial Park.
Yep.
I was there at 6:30 in the morning fucking grinding out games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my whole life I've been active. But tore my ACL, my MCL, my PCL, my meniscus in my knee. Fucked my knee up.
All from ball?
Just from running. Like, on the baseball field. My knee just went, you're too fat. Boom. And it exploded. Right? Had that shit fixed. Cost me everything I had. And then I lost 125 pounds. And I was like, wow, I lost 125 pounds. And I did it in like 4 months.
That's great.
Yeah, I gained it all fucking back.
Really? Right away?
You know how hard that shit is? People don't realize. Like, I fucking put everything I had into losing that weight.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't gain as much back. I was 465. I'm like 430 right now. I'm getting close again. And my body, I can feel it. But I watch Anthony, and Anthony was like a big motivating factor for me to try. I couldn't do it the same way he did it. Herbalife, not my thing. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I couldn't get into the whole philosophy of it and everything that they do, like business-wise around it. And like I said, I'm not very vocal on social media platforms. Mm-hmm. Anthony and his wife do a lot of social media stuff.
Yes, they do.
Good for that. They fucking work hard. I'm not knocking that at all. That takes talent. That takes energy.
It teaches us, too.
Yeah, it takes time. I can't do that shit. I can't even do that for my podcast. I'm not doing it for the fat that I've been holding on to since I was from the 4th grade. You know what I mean? Some of this shit matters to me. You know what I mean? I got to keep it. You know?
Word, I'll go down, but I ain't going that far down. All right.
Like that shit matters, man.
Nah,
It's not easy.
It's not like, you know. It's odd because I lived in Jersey for like 6 months, and when I lived in Jersey, I was a foreigner out there, but I met this guy. His name is Les.
Mm-hmm.
Les is about 6'8", 6'9", black guy,
Mm-hmm.
you know, fit, skinny.
Uh-huh.
So I would hang out with Les, and the only reason I would hang out, he's like, yo, you're staying. He would sell Newports. He worked for the Newport company, and at night he walks around with this little machine, and if you give him your ID, he gives you a coupon for 2 packs of Newports for $5 at 7-Eleven.
That's a deal.
So he would take me with him. You know, he was like, yo, I respect your genius, bro. Come with me. So he's the first person that really took me around Jersey. He started to show me all these spots. And in each and every spot, he would always have something to say like, man, everybody's going to stare at me when I get in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? And he always says, he's like, yo, because I'm the biggest one in there, man. And I didn't realize what he meant by that till we went to like a nightclub one night. I went to a nightclub and it was stuffed with like 300 people where it's like sardines, right? And he's the only noticeable one that I see. And so does everybody else, yo. They're on him. They're on him like white on rice. They're like, go ahead, do something. There's 50 people here ready to not. Yo, and he would feel it. He would tell me, like, yo, G, don't disappear from me like that because I don't know where you at. I'm like, yo, I can see you. Don't worry, I got your back. You know what I mean? Like, you got to handle 10 of them, but I got your back, yo. Like, and I didn't know big people have insecurities. I've always wanted to be bigger. Like,
so you got what I call girlfriend syndrome. No offense to you. My girlfriend, right? You know her. Her name's Eleni, right? Mm-hmm. She's 5'3", 5'4". Mm-hmm. She says 5'4.5", right? When we first started dating, fucking 9 years ago.
She's a sweetheart. I haven't seen her in years. She's a sweetheart.
We've been together 9 years.
Good score, bro. She's a sweetheart.
That. She's great. She's been through a lot, right? But when we first started dating, she, like I said, 5'4", like 100 pounds.
Mind you, you are 6'3".
6'3", 6'4", like 350 at the time, 360 at the time. I'm a big dude, right? And we started dating, and we started going places, and people just look at me.
Yeah.
All they do is look at me, and she, thinks it's because of her, and she's a very attractive. She's a
beautiful woman,
right? And she's used to having that attention. She didn't realize what it's like when you're dating someone my size and you look like she looked. People stare. People want to know why. People don't understand a guy like me getting a girl like that. And then when I'm by myself, they still stare. And she wasn't used to that shit. And she would get offended.
Of course.
And she would get angry.
Of course.
And she wouldn't know how to feel. Right? She's like texting me right now. But that's how she
speaking
was.
about her.
She
got ESPN.
Yeah. So like, it takes a while to realize that as soon as you walk into the room, right, people just know you're there. And when I used to go to clubs and bars, like you were just saying, people looking to fight you. You don't realize it.
I didn't know that.
You know what I mean? Like your friend was 5 inches taller than me, whatever it was. Like I feel that at my height, at my weight, people just are ready to fight. Ready. Doesn't matter what you did, walked in, and it's always the little guys. You know?
Yeah, the smallest ones.
They get big. You know.
Yo, and but you'd be surprised though. Like I did jiu-jitsu last time I did jiu-jitsu last year for a couple of times, man. And a couple of those 120-pound dudes.
Oh yeah,
they are
down.
Monster. They monsters. They stopped me dead in my tracks.
So growing up big, right? Something you'll never get to understand. And I
of course,
right? But growing up big, there's a stigma, right, of being big, strong, tough. Ready to go.
You should be all those things.
Exactly.
You're a warrior.
And I'm not saying that I'm not. That's not where I'm going with this. But everybody's ready for you to fuck up.
That's
everybody's waiting for you to, to go down. So like we talked about going to Bleecker. Now I don't know how many fights you've been in. I've been in a lot of fights.
I got about 5, 6.
Probably double about where you're at.
12 fights
easily.
For what?
Just for being me. Right?
Wow.
And sometimes it's just for standing up for other people. Right? And that's the crazy shit. You don't realize, like, the responsibility I have in a room of normal-sized individuals to get in between people. Because there's a lot I could do to stop a fight. There's a lot I could do to help people. I also bounced for a little bit. I don't count those as fights. I count those as jobs.
Yeah,
that's a different story.
Yeah.
Right? But first fight I ever lost.
With who?
You ready for this? So I fought this kid. I don't remember his name, right? Doesn't matter.
Spanish?
No, Asian kid.
Oh,
See?
oh,
People do the same thing. Oh, yeah, you're hallucinating?
No. I almost got fucked up by Jung Young. Remember Jung Young? The 6'7" fucking Asian with glasses? Really doofy? He used to defend all his Asians.
Oh, was he? He was your year?
Yeah, he used to defend all his Asians.
So
he almost killed me.
I remember him, but I fought a kid who was in the 7th grade, who was a year younger than me when I was in the 8th grade.
Wow.
Right? And this is the shit we got into a fight over. The dumbest shit I've ever gotten into a fight over. We're at gym, right? And we're playing softball with the girls, making the girls have a good time. Just tossing the ball, right? And this asshole comes over and he starts dribbling a basketball in the middle of where we pitch so we can't play the fucking game.
Just to be a dick.
Just to be a dick, right? So he doesn't know how to dribble. The ball kicks away, rolls to me. I kick it to the other fucking side of the field. Go get your fucking ball. Like, leave us the fuck alone.
And
like,
he ran up on you.
No. He did nothing. He came back to me the next day with like 4 of his Asian friends, right? And he's like, you want to fight over this? And I said, do you really want to, like, this is how we're doing this? He's like, yeah, you're so tough. Why don't we fight? I said, whatever, we'll fight, right? He wanted like some fucking, I don't know, like he had to show off that he could fight me or some shit, right? So we fight after school. There's like this whole big setup.
Of course, remember how bleak it was?
Jerk, right?
Yeah.
So we walked down to one of those cul-de-sacs that's like in the corner somewhere over there.
Right?
And we're walking, and I got my friends with me because I don't know what the fuck's about to happen. And you know how, like you just said, how people were very cliquey and people used to roll off.
Nigga, you won't even see a punch coming through the side.
Yeah, you weren't safe.
You were not safe. If you were gonna fight one, you were gonna fight at least 5.
So I had my friends come with me.
Okay.
And some of my friends started to bail, started to walk away because they didn't think shit was gonna happen.
All right.
Right. For some reason, they lost faith in whatever was going on. Whatever, they walked away. So we go to get fight, and this kid starts taking off clothing. He's got a dragon tattoo from his knee up the
Bleecker kid.
Up the side of his chest and across the top.
Yeah, that kid's definitely in Rikers right now.
You think that kid was in 7th grade? You think that kid was that fucking young?
No.
Now I'm a true 8th grader. I was still 6'2", 300.
He's probably my age.
Yeah, so fucked me up. Got me bad.
How?
Him and his friends.
Oh, that's why. Because it couldn't have been one person.
Got me. You know when you're in a cul-de-sac and a lot of houses that we have in Whitestone, they got those sloped driveways.
Yes.
They pushed me down one of those sloped driveways, right? And then they got on top of me, and I got hit with a watch in one hand, and I got hit with a knife in another hand. My fucking forehead was at the here, dude. Only fight I've ever lost. And nobody was around me to help me.
It took 5 of them, though.
Dude, I was embarrassed.
That don't count as a loss.
But that's what it... But
that's fine. That don't count. Yo, that don't count as a loss, bro.
I had these girls with me that were watching, right? And they made me, like, beg to, like, give up. Like, stop. You know how I had to end that fight? I had to grab the kid who was hitting me in the head with a knife, and I had to choke him to the point he couldn't breathe no more.
So who really won the fight?
And I was still getting hit.
But you were like, you want me to kill him?
Yeah. I was like, I'll end this right now. Like, he can't move. Like, I didn't know any karate, no fighting, anything. I was just like, I know there's no oxygen in between all this that I got going on over here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we broke it up, and then all my friends were gone. I had nobody there. I had these 3 girls there.
Fucking leaking.
Just got blood, jumped. My forehead's out here, right? And I'm walking away. I'm limping away because I destroyed my leg. You ever fall down a driveway like that? You know I'm walking away, right? I'm walking away. Then these kids come up. They rob me. Blood leaking. What am I going to do?
Because you were hurt? Nah, you were
different kid. Not even the same kids.
They saw you get jumped probably.
They just saw. But that's the way Bleecker was. Like, it wasn't always like that.
No.
But that day, that was some shit.
Not Bleecker.
I never seen shit like
Bleecker,
that.
I remember watching. I remember. There was so many fights in Bleecker. I remember Edgar fighting 2 people.
I remember Edgar.
Marco and Carlos.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember Marco fighting Edgar and Carlos in the fucking lunchroom. He had one dude fighting both of them. You know, like I remember Paul Chin. The only reason I became best friends with Quest is because Paul Chin. And remember Paul Chin? I don't know if he was my age, but he was in. Remember Mr. Hammer?
Yes.
All right.
And who doesn't?
So Paul Chin, we was playing volleyball, and I missed the lob, and he goes, "You fucking spick!" And all of a sudden, you see Quest fly from my peripheral across the gym and yokes him, and he won't let go. Hammer grabs Quest, and Quest throws Hammer on the floor like a hammer. Wow! Yo, he just starts throwing everybody. Yeah. Yo,
Hammer was a beast.
Yo, Bleecker was fun though.
I
fought Sebastian too in Levitt's Field.
Okay.
I fought Sebastian for 60 seconds in Levitt's Field. He's a monster.
You ever know
kicked me in my shin, this bitch ass Colombian soccer player. Sebas, I want to run it back, boy.
You ever know what happened to Hammer one year? Like after we left?
No.
Right? Hammer was an old dude when we were there, right? I think like a couple of years after
he's as old as Bleeker.
I think like after we graduated, he was doing layup lines. You know, when you just dribble the ball and you put in a little layup? He did that to like show the class how to do that, and he fell and he broke his leg.
No.
I swear to God.
You remember his assistant?
Shit exploded.
Remember his assistant?
Yeah, the lady? The blonde girl?
The blonde guy.
Oh, there was two.
Remember the guy?
Yeah.
That guy got caught for touching a minor.
Jesus Christ.
In Bleecker.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got caught for having relations with a minor in Bleecker.
Do you remember Mr. Santa Maria? He was a dean, and he got deported.
I remember saying
mid-year.
Yeah, deported.
Mid-year, they came into the school and they took.
I remember
away.
the other dean, the one that I had. What was his name? Not Mr. Rick, Mr. Strike. I know he was close to with Miss Mashaw. Everybody thought he was fucking Miss Mashaw. He was the guy with the gray hair. Yeah.
He was the head of the math department.
He would let us cut class with him all day. Yo. Remember Miss Elgart?
Yes.
Oh God, that bitch.
I remember the guy you're talking about. There was a kid. I don't remember his name. But
Fordham?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that fight.
And he was trying to, all he was trying to do was hug him, and this kid was body blowing the shit out of him. I'll never forget. That was crazy. I was like, this is insane. Somebody needs to stop this.
Bleecker was time, man.
The security guards were dope.
Security guards were great with us.
Great with us.
I remember when I had a machete to my neck. The first time I've ever smoked a blunt with Quest, it was a double strawberry haze, and we smoked the blunt with it was 3 women and a dude. And the night before, I was in Bland Projects, so we're all I'm really high, and I'm talking about my night before. And what's crazy is the night before I actually got slapped by. You remember Victor Maria? He used to live out here.
Probably if I saw.
If you
I'm
saw
good with faces, very good.
So
with
his brother, the night before, we was in the projects in his grandma's house, and his brother, I must have acted up because I was drunk. His brother slapped the shit out of me. So I'm telling my friend, like, yo, this nigga slapped the shit out of me. I was in the Blair Project last night. All of a sudden, this kid comes up to me. He don't even go to Bleecker. He's like 4 years older. He just fucks with the girls. Remember, you would have guys like that?
There was a bunch of creepers.
Dude, never forget. His name is Alex. Yo, he's like, you was in my hood last night? What you was doing in my hood last night? Now, me being high, I don't know he's fucking with me.
Yeah.
But he's fucking me to a point where he pulls out a machete. He goes, what, you want to come back to my hood? He went, yo, B. I'm like, this is Bleecker? It's karma, though, because I put his cousin up on the wall maybe 3 weeks later.
People don't, like, and Bleecker wasn't that bad.
No, Bleecker
we had stories.
We had times.
There was times.
It was, do you remember Heavy from Bleecker? You remember Heavy, Crip dude? He died in a motorcycle accident about 5 years ago. Julian Smith. Julian, he was a year older than you because you were 2 years younger than me, so he was a year older than you. Yep, like a lot of people in Bleecker. Like we had a I don't know if you'll get to have one, but we had 2 years ago a Bleecker reunion. We had a Bleecker reunion from my my class of Bleecker.
9th grade though?
It was 8th and 9th grade because some people left at 8th.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had it at Bourbon Street on Bell.
Okay. And they set it up? The school set that shit up?
No, we did.
Oh, that's cool.
Anthony Michaelides threw one text message out to like 6 people and said, yo, I haven't seen you guys in so long. I miss you guys. Together? And then that ended up to be 25 people.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? It was such a great thing. You know what happened to Anthony, right?
No, I can't say that I do.
So Anthony, he was living in Florida. Okay. And he was going to see his girlfriend on a motorcycle. And he got into an accident that we all thought he died. He was in a coma. When he lifts up his shirt,
it's all like V'd out.
It's not even a V. It looked like the fucking Predator came out. It looked like the alien came. And he still became a professor of fucking Queens College. He's a professor, genius, great, humble fucking guy.
Good for him.
You know what I mean? But he went into I swear, we thought he died, and maybe like 2 years later, I'm at a food truck in Astoria, and I hear Gilbert. And whenever somebody says my full name, it's always bad. I'm like, you know me. So I'm like. And my heart dropped. I'm like, eh? He's like, yeah. I said, I thought you died. He said, I did for a couple months.
That's insane.
Came back to life, though. Worked his way back up to fucking regeneration. He was like, if I didn't die yet, then what's going to kill me? Only me. Let me get back this fucking shit up. Now he's on live every day doing a jog. No matter if it's 1, 2 people, 3, 4, 5 people, he's doing it every day because he loves it to inspire people. That's cool. He's a matter of fact, NYU professor. That's what he is, NYU. So I correct myself.
That's good. That's crazy.
Awesome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I'm glad to see a lot of people be in successful spots after Bleecker because I kind of feel like we were the class that have it good and have it bad. I feel like after our class, whoever was in Bleecker left, it's a little weird. Like
people don't understand. Like Bleecker's public school. In case you didn't know that, Bleecker's public school. PS29 was a public school. College Point is a public school town. Not many people leave here and go to Catholic schools or whatever it is. You know, that's just the way it is.
Some of them start in St. Agnes or something like that. But
and then they move on or whatever it is. But it's very rare, unless you started at St. Fidelis, that you really were in Catholic school.
And those were different breed of people, in my opinion.
The closer to Malba version of College Point. Like the more you're on this side and, you know, to the, like, towards where the academy and stuff is like that, it's not as...
No. It's different.
Normal.
It's different.
So I was lucky enough to go into Catholic school after Bleecker.
Really?
And I worked my ass off to do it.
Really?
Right?
Wait, so you went to Catholic school as a grown-ass man?
As a grown-ass man.
I went to Catholic school for first grade and for second grade. I went to Catholic school. And I got, well, they took me out because we moved to Queens, but I got in trouble because I spit all over the statue of the Virgin Mary.
Oh, damn.
I was playing with a glob of spit in my mouth. And my best friend Fernando comes behind me and goes, what? And I spit.
Fucked you all up.
Yo, the teacher, I was in so much trouble.
So I went to St. Francis Prep.
Really? I didn't know that.
High school, yeah.
So, that must have been so different to come from public school to go to this.
So
what kind of people were there? Were you used to
rich people?
Come on, because you came
people
from
with money, right? So my whole thing was like I had two best friends at the time. I don't know if you know them. They're College Point people. Casey Knight and Jimmy Voigt.
Okay.
Right? Same age as me. Whatever. Great people. Like great families, and we were super close for a long time. And our plan was to go to Holy Cross.
All right.
Right. So I was like, all right, we'll go to Holy Cross. At least we'll be together. I'll know some people, whatever it is. But I think at some point our plan was to try to get to St. Francis. Like that was the goal. For some reason in our head, St. Francis had girls and skirts. And we were like, St. Francis is where we got to go. We got to get from here to St. Francis.
What do we got to do?
So, you know, we took the test. We did all that bullshit. I was the only person who got in.
Really?
Yeah. So nobody told me I was the only person that went in, that got in. So I sent my shit out, right? I'm headed to prep. And then I find out they're headed to Cross. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm starting over, new friends, whatever it is. I meet my best friend Brian in baseball like the year prior. We hang out. We went to prep together.
That's awesome.
Best times, right? But people, like, I'd never seen money like that before. Like the cars kids would roll up in. The things
as high schoolers?
As high schoolers. Like the money, the drugs.
Really?
You wouldn't imagine the drugs that go through that school. It's incredible.
Really?
Yeah, because they just have access to shit. When you have access to shit,
mommy and daddy shit.
Let me explain to you how fucking broke I was then. Right? I didn't have a computer, right, until my junior year of high school, right?
In a
Catholic school where I had to do reports all the time. Dude, I was on typewriters. I was handwriting shit. I was in the library typing shit.
Right?
Yo, I had to like do shit, and these kids were like, "What are we doing this weekend?" You know what I mean? Like it was tough for a while.
Did you keep up the facade so long they couldn't notice that you
every time I could. You know what I couldn't though? When the teachers were like, "Does anybody not have a computer?" Like, yo, fuck this bitch.
She did this to my friend. You asked that question yesterday. You asked me that question yesterday, bitch.
I'm like, it's not going to change. My parents have got money.
Yo, I came to you after class and told you, I don't got a computer.
That's what it was, though. Like, my parents put everything they had into sending me to that school, right? And now everybody's like, don't got a computer. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying I was the least.
Were you the biggest person there, too?
I had one kid who was taller than me.
Okay.
One kid.
That's what I mean.
I was like number 2.
Okay.
I was like number 2. But in the whole school, not like...
How big was it?
Huge.
2,000, 3,000?
6,500.
Really?
I think it was almost 6,000 kids.
Yo, you Catholic school motherfucker, you're killing it with the bank.
I remember...
Yo, that's 6,500 kids at what? 20,000 a kid.
It was less than that when I was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
I thought it was
20. It might be that now.
I thought it was like 20 grand.
No, let's see. Like, my graduating class, mind you, graduating class. So there was more kids originally. My graduating class was like 760 kids. That's who made it. So there was definitely more when we started. You all right?
Oh, fucking, yo, that first shot at J-Mo? Woo!
So I my whole thing was I'm going to make it a point to meet every kid in my year.
Okay.
Like, when I went to high school, that was my goal.
At least to meet them.
Everybody's
whether
name.
you get along with them or not.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just want to know, hey, if I look at that person, oh, hey, so-and-so.
Do
oh, hey,
people
so-and-so.
look to be your friend?
I would say more so than other people. You know, I'm also very
friendly
and like...
You're social on a personal level.
Yes. But see, like, I just had this conversation the other day. Like, people don't realize how, or at least in my mind, how actually, like, introverted I am. Like, once I know you, oh, we'll fucking go to town. But, like, I'm not usually the person who's like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. Like, if you would have came up to me, like, 8 years ago and be like, hey, I'm Jay, like, nice to meet you, we would have had conversations forever.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have stopped.
But you wouldn't have walked up to me and said, hey, yo,
I'm Ed. You know, because people were afraid of me. Like, it's weird to say that, but some people would see me and be like, okay.
You felt that all your life?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
Damn, nigga, how big were you in kindergarten and first grade?
I was the biggest one. I had to be like 5'5".
Wow.
And I was heavy too. Wow. Dude, like, I took my shirt, like, this one time, do you remember, I can't remember her name now. Anyway, you know when kids used to put their arms in their shirt?
And run around like they're armless?
Yeah, like, be stupid. I got my arms stuck because I was so big in my shirt, right? So the kindergarten teacher, like, took my shirt off, and people never seen fat like that before. You know
was like,
oh! You know? It was crazy. I was a big kid my whole life.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Right?
All right, so would you catch up with school?
So, like, you know, I tried to meet everybody. Tried to know everybody's name. Didn't matter where they were from, what they did. I wanted to be in, like, social circles.
Yeah.
But you know what that led to? Not being in a social circle, which is weird.
Because you noticed how much you weren't like them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a facade when you see something from far away and you're like, damn, all I got to do is buy this and I'm like them. All I got to do is... But when you're in that circle of trying to be, you realize...
And you kind of learned, like, why certain people were in certain circles.
But those were money, and that was a money school, baby.
A lot of them were money schools. So, like, let's talk a little political, which is something we never talked about on my podcast, which we'll go more into my podcast a little bit later. Mm-hmm. Because...
Nigga, we could sit here for fun. I don't care.
In my podcast, like, we set ground rules, right? Like, we had a conversation prior to this podcast where it was like, what do you not want to talk about? What do I not want to talk about? And we did that with our guys. And our off-limit stuff was a lot more than what we're going to do today. Like, we didn't want to talk about religion. We didn't want to talk about politics.
Oh, we go there.
But the reason why is because didn't want to talk about our jobs either. So that means if you're not talking about this and you're not talking about that, you kind of limited yourself. But for good reason. People have city jobs.
Yeah, I get
People have higher position jobs. They don't want anything that could be said or could be misconstrued to come down to them just for the sake of fun and entertainment. But that makes things difficult.
Yeah, because when that fun and entertainment turns into $1 million worth of advertisement or endorsement, you can't say it's not worth something at that point.
100%. But you have to be respectful of people and mindful, and that kind of limits where you go, right? So this whole Black Lives Matter movement, I'm very pro Black Lives Matter, right? But my point of bringing this up is because my high school has an alum page, right? Where everybody from every year is on that page, whether it's my graduating class or graduating classes from,
that's
100
dope.
years ago. It's really cool.
Does Bleecker have that?
Every
high school have that?
Maybe. I really don't. I just know specifically my
for yours.
High school.
That's very dope. You paid for that.
No. You're right. I absolutely did. So there are people on that site that are posting things pro Black Lives Matter that are from my graduating class. And I'm getting to hear stories of people that felt that there was racial bias towards them. Get to hear people who thought that, wrong was done to them. And I went to school with these people. And I had no idea.
Did you, now that it's said, could you see it, that it did happen?
Yes. And it kind of breaks your heart a little bit. Absolutely. Because I knew these people. Because like I said to you, I tried to make sure I knew everybody, tried to conversate with everybody, try to have an understanding of who people were. Is that a talent of you?
You like your surroundings?
I think so.
Even if you don't have to know you 100%, at least I know your name.
Yeah. I like to know who I'm in a room with. people know who I am just by looking at me, so they think. So I like to know who
So you like to
are.
make sure you know.
Exactly. I like to know who I'm getting involved with. And if I don't, I try not to pass judgment.
No.
Easier said than done.
Yes.
But people will pass judgment on me immediately, just based on height and weight.
Of course.
Like nonstop.
Of course.
Based on
You're a
things
bully.
I drive,
You,
I'm a dick.
You're an asshole.
You can't talk
Don't
to me.
talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be his friend.
And that's how some people think.
Don't you think you compare to those people that felt that racial dirt going to school though? Isn't that the same for what you've been dealing with your whole life, even if it's not race?
No, I don't.
You've always been looked at.
I've been looked at. I've been poked at. I've been made fun of my whole life. There's been shit that's been said to me. I was in groups when I was in that school where we talked about like childhood abuse, and because everybody's got their problems. Yeah. I'm not here to air that laundry out, but everybody's got their problems, right? And I was part of those groups because I needed to be, whether it was drugs, whether it was abuse, whether it was whatever it was. I was part of that stuff, and I heard a lot of shit that made my shit didn't seem so bad, right? And then it made other people seem like their shit wasn't so bad. But I wish I would have known about some of these people that are coming out and talking now, and that's like crazy to me that we live like I lived through those 4 years in high school,
and you didn't even notice,
and I didn't even know, and that kind of hurts. Like to know that person or those people and hear what they have to say, and they're not trying to be divisive or anti-white or whatever it is. No. They're just trying to say, hey...
They're just being honest. It happened to me.
This is what happened to me. And there are so many people on that platform, in that like one thread, that are so against those people. And they don't believe them. And they don't want to take it at face value. And you sit back and you go, wow. It's crazy. There's a lot of shit. Like
I went to so for high school for me, you went to St. Francis Prep, right? For high school for me, I went to August Martin, Campus Magnet.
Did you go to Bound also?
I went to Bound, I went to Edison, I went to Flushing, and I went to Outreach.
So a couple.
I went to Queens Vogue too.
You got all the merit badges.
I still got 7 Regencies though.
Oh, wow.
I still got 7 Regencies. My grades were always high. Good. I think my first high school really fucked me up. Leaving Bleecker in 9th grade, I went to a high school in 10th grade. Yeah. Now the high school I went to was predominantly black. The high school I went to was the same high school that Run DMC, 50 Cent, and Ja Rule went to. Okay. Where I was all the way up in Francis Lewis, like 250-something, Cambria Heights.
Yeah, I know where it is.
To where, like, when I cut school, some guy would let his dog out and say, go get him. And I would have to run for my life from a pit bull. Wow. Yo, I got robbed. In my high school, there was 3 different schools in that one building. Remember how they used to do that?
Yeah.
So you used to have law and business, you used to have arts, and then you used to have something else. Yeah. But the one thing that brought all the things together were the sports. Yeah. So I played football. I was starting quarterback for the JV team. Cool. I was the only light-skinned Puerto Rican person there. I was one of 5 Spanish people in the school, 2 of which spoke English. Yeah. The other ones were all ESL. Yo, you know what? These dudes would, when they come to school or it was like a repeat of junior high school for me, because the way you saw me in the cool group, I was always playing catch up with them. They was always dressing fly. The girls always liked them. I was just in the background. I was Robin to all these Batmans.
I get it.
And when I went to this high school, they made me feel like not even a Robin. They just automatically they segregated me. They treated me like, I guess they know how to treat people, because this is the way they've been treated. Yeah. So they treated me like that. Yo, I'll never forget going to the store and buying a pack of cigarettes. Like, I feel high and mighty. I could buy a pack of cigarettes at the spot, and I ain't even old enough. $5 pack. Yo, I pull out a cigarette, and the guy comes up to me and says, let me get a cigarette. So I go to give him one. He goes, no, let me get your pack. I said, what? Boom, pulls out a knife on me. He said, give me your pack. Now, I said, police! I ran to school. He caught me in school later. Wow. They fucked me up. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, if it wasn't for me being on the JV team, some kid threw a paper ball at me, so I hit him with like the bathroom pass in the back of the head. When the bell rang, I'm walking down the hallway to my next class, and he's telling his friends as they're coming out the classes, and they're all following behind me. If it wasn't for somebody on the football team going downstairs and saying Rico's in trouble, because they used to call me Rico because I was the only Spanish nigga in there, wearing Tom Brady's number, holla. Yo, I used to run for my life on that field because everybody was bigger than me. Everybody wanted to break my neck or kill me. Like, I I'll never forget having, I had an attractive Colombian girlfriend, and it would be so hard to stand next to her because these dudes would just look at me like I'm a peasant. I'm smaller. There's only one of me. Yeah. I'm less than. Yeah. Like all the stuff that was done to them, they do it to people too. And like we said outside, it's not a color thing. There is nasty in every shape and fucking form.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you look like. Matter. There's always gonna be nasty.
Similar. So you said you went to Edison, right?
I went to Edison for a week.
My brother went to Edison.
I got kicked out of Edison.
Why?
Got spit at the teacher.
You gotta stop spitting on.
No, you know why? You know why I spit at the teacher? You know why I spit at the teacher though?
What happened?
Because I came in a little bit late, and she goes, "Oh, you're privileged, aren't you?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I'm sorry, I came in late." She goes, "No, then you can walk back out and walk in to embarrass me in front of the kids." So I said, "I could? All right, I'm going to do this first." And I spit at her feet, and then I got kicked out of Edison.
So my older brother went to Edison, right? He went there because they have an automotive program. They have a woodshop program. My dad went to Edison. Mm-hmm. That's where my dad learned his trade. Really? My dad's a plumber, right? So my brother went there. My dad and my brother are so much alike. Right?
Really?
They have that mind.
Are you not the same?
I don't have that mind, no. I'm very sports-oriented, goal-oriented. My work is very different. Like, we're not the same. They're the same, right? So when my brother went there, and by the time he left, he was a totally different person. And it's because my brother was one of one.
The only big white guy there?
The only white guy there.
At the time, yeah.
At the time.
Probably, yeah.
And
how much older is your brother than us?
He's 88.
Oh, he's 1 year older.
Yeah, not too far apart. So, and I can tell that changed him. And it's sad. My brother's a smart kid, bright kid. But when you get bullied and you get picked on and you get told you're less than, right, by everybody you see for 4 years in a row because you're white, right? Is it wrong? 100% it's wrong. No matter which way you do it, it's wrong.
No.
But that changed him. And now I deal with fighting against him to get his mindset right. Not that he's a racist, not that he's this or that.
Oh, he went through it.
But he went through it. So and he feels that shit.
Yeah.
And you probably feel that shit too.
Yeah. I have to catch myself, Ed.
Yeah.
I have to catch myself when,
It's not easy.
It's not. Because I'll go out and I'll go to spots and I'll go to bars and clubs and, I'm sorry, unfortunately. Because I was bullied and picked on, if I have to make sure of my surroundings. I, like you, the way you like to know your surroundings, I developed that as my power. Now, if I see a bunch of rugged, bad situation, people I shouldn't go near or talk to, I run to it because I want to make sure the worst place that I think they could be in this building, at least I'm next to it. It couldn't get any worse than this if something goes wrong. You know what I mean? Like
the shit I do, I'll give you an example. I'll give you two examples because I think both of them are pretty good, right? I'm on the subway, right, prior to COVID, every day going to work.
Okay.
Every day I have to.
Okay.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's my only way to get into the city. There's nowhere to park in the city. I love to drive, can't drive.
Fuck you. Why drive? Why deal with the 59th Street Breaker? Why deal with the highway?
Right now, it's not bad.
Right now, it's
It's a dream.
But 7 trains straight there, you good.
Well, I couldn't stand the 7 train, so I drive to the E train. I jump on the
park your car,
and take the E all the way downtown. No big deal, right? But I'm on the train, and homeless dude gets on the train. I don't know if he's homeless. I take that back.
Okay.
African American dude gets on the train.
Okay.
You can tell he's fucked up.
Oh,
fucked up bad.
In the game.
Yeah. So, I don't know if he's Jamaican. I don't know what he is, but he's putting on that like Jamaican vibe, that accent, like trying to be somebody, right?
Okay.
But he's fucked up.
Okay.
So he's on the subway, sitting next to 3 little kids, right, and an old lady, and he lights a cigarette in the middle of the train.
What time?
Like noon, 1 o'clock. Lighting a cigarette.
With kids and everything.
Blowing the smoke into the kids. Now there's nobody else on the train, but these kids, this old lady, another guy, and myself, right? So I go to get up because I'm going to go snatch that cigarette. Right?
Yo!
Some other kid, good for him, does it before me. Gets up, grabs it, puts it out of his mouth, goes, "How dare you?" Stomps out in front of him and walks away. Now we're the only people on the train. This guy gets up to start a fight with that kid. I said, I get up, I get in between the two of them. That kid was right. You're a fucking asshole. Now, I don't know what this guy's got on him. I don't know how fucked up this guy is. I don't know what's going through this guy's head. But I'm not letting that guy go after the guy who did something fucking right.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a smaller guy. The guy who did something right. The guy who stood up before I could get there because my chunky ass couldn't get there fast enough. You know what I mean? So I get up and I get in between them. And now people get on the subway. And now people see. And now what do people do? They record.
But you look like the.
But I look like the bad guy.
You're too big.
Nobody saw what happened, right? So I look like the bad guy. So everybody's telling me to sit down.
Yep.
Stop what you're doing. This guy put those kids at risk. Put that old woman at risk. Was a disgusting human being on that train. And now this guy stood up. I made sure that guy got off that train safely. He got off the train at the next stop. He got onto the next one, and I sat there and I stared at that guy the entire way, right? Because I knew if he was going to do something else, he's going to have to do it to me.
Yeah, because there's nobody else to do it to.
Nobody else is going to do it to, right? And that could have cost me my life.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
It's the right thing to do, so I did it. And that's the kind of social responsibility you feel. I'll give you another example. 20th Avenue Park. You're familiar with it. If you're in College Point, you're familiar with the park.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wait till I get some of those hooligans in here.
Yeah. Who goes to the park? Everybody in College Point. Doesn't matter.
Crackheads.
Doesn't matter.
Every fucking body, yo.
Right? We're at the park one day. I'm playing basketball. I always play basketball at the park. This was years ago. I was better in shape. Doesn't matter. And this Muslim family walks into the park. 5, 6 Muslim women, fully dressed, covered up. Kids are having a great time. Great time. Group of kids starts yelling, "Terrorist! Fuck you! Get the fuck out of the park! You got no business being here!" Start throwing shit at the kids. Start throwing shit at the women.
What an ass.
So what do the women do? Pick up the kids and leave. I've never been so angry before in my entire life.
That fucking piss you off. It's bullshit.
It gets you so mad. Did you like young white kids, right? They know what happened, right? Like they're old enough to know about 9/11. They're old enough to know about that shit, and then they're gonna throw it at these 5 women who are here with young kids.
Nobody be a man, take it out on a man.
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare you?
So I run over. I'm ready to die for these fucking kids. That's me. That's me in a nutshell. Like, how dare you
If more people had that humility like you, though, this world would spin a lot better, and that's the problem. This world don't spin the way it should. There's a reason why it spins on an axis. It represents us.
It does.
We spin on a fucking axis. I never remember Paul the Bum in 20th?
Yeah.
Yo, one snowstorm. Hector, you remember little Hector?
Mm-hmm.
Little Hector used to be a schmuck when he was little. I care less you hear this or not, G. You know you was a dick, bro. Like, yo, little Hector's throwing snowballs at Paul while he's trying to sleep, and he's winging them. And like, yo, what the fuck? Like, come on. You know, like, why do this? Why do this to him? It's one thing with me. I'll take responsibility. Yeah.
Was Paul the big one?
Yeah, the one that always slept. And you know, he had a house and a place to live and shit. I heard.
I used to give him food every fucking day.
I heard he had a house, place to live, and all that shit. But he got fucked up. He was fucked up in the head. He thought he had a chip in his brain, and he decided to stay out in the streets.
I used to bring him shit all the time.
Yeah, yo, Paul. Me too. Yo, Paul was the butt.
But so that same day, right? Those kids, I threw those kids out of that park, and it wasn't until I said something that other people, said something. There's too many people in this world that won't say anything.
No.
That won't put themselves out there, and it's not easy.
No.
I'm not no fucking hero.
No.
I'm not doing it in every situation. No. But in that situation, I was like, to hear the shit that you would say to another human being, just because they're wearing a burqa or they're covered up, whatever it is, right? They're not the ones that did that shit. How dare you?
Did you see Alt-Right on Netflix?
No. I haven't seen any documentary.
All right.
Can I get another beer?
Yeah. Yo. So maybe you shouldn't see it, but I think you should see it just for the conversation, man. It's the battle is between alt-right people and Antifa, and it's so I love gore, I love violence, I love shit like that. But when you see real life people, 100 on the left, 100 on the right, and the ones on the right are walking to the ones on the left, and they're not backing down, and then when they clash, you see this fucking old man get knocked down. You see this lady get tossed around. They're human beings, man. Look at the guy that just this weekend drove on the highway on the opposite side of the road and killed and killed one person, critically wounded the other, and then he stops. Like, what's wrong with you guys, man? Like, is it that you don't see? And that's why I don't find weird. People down south in the Midwest and all that shit, you guys, those are legal carrying countries. You guys, for the most part, know what it is to carry a gun. And most of the people know how to hunt and like, you know, fend for themselves, kill an animal. You know what a bullet does, man. You like why is it that we have to bring ourselves to some violence because of a disagreement? Yeah. Yo, and if you want to disagree and you want to get into violence, that's where it is.
Yeah, UFC.
Go
take it to a ring. Go take it to a match.
And then with people on my side and your side that can stop it when it's too much. Yo, you're getting your ass whooped.
There's too many people that are not willing to have a conversation.
They just
and then
want to fight.
Change.
Yeah.
After having a conversation.
Yeah. Well, change.
Too many people want to listen, and they don't want to do anything. I'm not saying everybody's going to change you on every conversation.
Nope.
I'm saying there's some times where you find out you're wrong.
Yeah.
And you won't admit that you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you swing politically. To me, I'm left. I'm a Democrat. I propose myself as a Democrat.
But what kind of left?
But
you know, lefts don't want. You know, lefts don't want this. Don't want.
Yeah, 100%. But me, see, I feel like I'm very moderate, right? But the side of me that is left is far left in certain things, right? So, like healthcare, right?
Absolutely, I'm for it.
I believe
it should all be free for us.
In my heart of hearts, that if you get sick tomorrow, God forbid, knock on wood, right? If you get sick tomorrow, you should not have to go poor, making sure that you're okay.
Nope.
Not your child, not your mother, not anybody in your family.
Nope.
And to me, it speaks so true to everything that we are as a race of people, right? That I will vote almost not blindly, but I will vote for somebody who's for that. The huge distance in how much money that we spend on drugs and shit to keep us healthy is fucking insane to me.
Yep.
It's insane.
Yep.
Now, my dad hunts. I know my grandfather's in the NRA. I don't agree with the NRA, but I agree that, you know, maybe you should be able to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And you should be able to have a weapon if you go through the right checks and you pass all those things. So
especially the mental check.
That's a very
they don't have a mental check.
That's a very right thing for me to say, and also say that I'm very far left.
It's
and there's too many people that it's this or that.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
You're not allowed to be both.
You cannot be.
What do you mean? If you like guns, then you're not left.
You can't.
You like guns? You're not left. How dare you? What the fuck is wrong with you? You like to kill people?
It's insane though. Like if somebody came to me with an argument and I really listened to it and I put my fucking effort into being like, yeah, you know what, maybe I am wrong on that, then I should be okay with changing. And there's too many people that are like, nah, I'm right no matter what. Like you watch some of these Black Lives Matter the videos and everything that's going on, and there are people that just talk and talk and talk, and half the time they're just yelling at each other.
Yeah.
And nothing's getting done.
No.
Because nobody's willing to be like, oh shit, like, now I hear what you're saying. Why? When did that stop? When did we stop listening to one another?
You know what it is that both sides don't realize that they have equal points for the survival of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys both have equal
100%.
points. There's nobody absolutely right or absolutely wrong.
Nobody's like, perfect. Nobody.
That's what being a human is. You know who taught us that? Transformers taught us that. Like, give me a break. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the difference that separated the robots from the humans was the robot couldn't understand why do you guys do these things, and the human is like, this is what is being human.
Yeah.
This is what it is to be human. Like, it's not only making the mistake, but it's acknowledging your mistakes. Listen, if we didn't acknowledge Genghis Khan was such an evil motherfucker, there would be more of Genghis Khans everywhere. Yeah. If we didn't acknowledge Hitler was evil, there'd be more Hitlers. Like 100%. We have the ability to weed out bad stuff. Is that we don't make a choice to acknowledge our fellow neighbor, our fellow human being, our fellow person. Man, it's not about being involved with what somebody's going through. It's completely about understanding.
And no argument should be, no, you're wrong. No, I'm right. I'm going to kill you.
That's where automatically the argument's wrong.
It's just wrong. If you can't just continue to speak and it has to go to violence and anger, then you weren't here for a conversation.
The only time that works is when equal parties are with it.
Yeah.
If equal parties are willing to settle their differences, like I said, they're about, but most people won't.
Like, our conversation on politics doesn't need to be a fucking divorce. Right? That's what a divorce is.
Fact.
A divorce is, I'm going to take everything I fucking can from you because I'm right and you're wrong.
You're wrong. That's it.
I'm not... There's obviously different factors.
No. On a bigger scale. On a bigger scale.
It's I want everything and you get nothing.
I think the only thing that is absolutely right with this movement, it's not only a movement of, yes, on a broader spectrum, as a whole of people, they have been the most segregated and brutalized and the most talked about. Listen, Emancipation Proclamation, 1865. It wasn't that long ago. 1866 is when they got their fucking their 40 yards and a fucking mule, right?
Yeah.
And they got it in Tulsa. And what happens when they get the all those black businesses? It gets taken away from them with riots, right? So this is nothing new. That they're probably the most well-known oppressed people, but oppression is with every people. Well. Yes, you got to, but the Indian, but no, we don't want to see
different topic.
That's so no. It's the same topic because you know what's sick? Native Americans had African American slaves. You know what's sicker? African Americans when they took over Tulsa, they kicked out all the Native Americans to give the African Americans that land. So like the puppets holding these strings. They force us to be feeling a way towards one another when we really shouldn't. At the end of the day, if we're gonna change something, you have to change it within you first. Like
I don't know how you felt. Like me growing up, like my first president,
that you remember.
That I remember was Clinton.
Me too.
Prior to Clinton, we obviously had Bush.
I don't remember.
But I don't remember shit about Senior. But I'm not gonna say anything. But I remember specifically when we went from Clinton into Bush, I had this feeling that we were never gonna see a one-term president again. And that's going to upset a lot of people. And it really is.
But, yeah, you hit a bar, yeah.
But to me, right, you went through 8 years of Clinton, right, where it was a shit show, where he was almost impeached, where all that shit happened, but he was still there. And then you went through 8 years of Bush, and I don't even want to get into all the conspiracies and all the bullshit that happened.
That's another podcast.
That's a whole other thing. But we went through 8 years of that, right?
Yep.
And to me, personally, we went through 8 great years of Obama.
Yep.
That's me. You can feel differently. Everybody feels differently. I thought we had a good couple.
The only thing he messed up was his care, Obamacare.
Agreed. It wasn't. It wasn't perfect.
And besides him and droning a lot of over there.
I'm not saying it was perfect. No presidency will ever be perfect.
I think the way he cradled us as Americans was proper.
He was trying to get us somewhere. He had so much to do after Bush got out. The amount of jobs he had to add, everything he had to do, I believe he put us on the right track.
Okay.
You may disagree. Whoever's listening may disagree. That's fine.
The only reason they have a problem with Obama is his past. You know, his father's this, his mom's that. They molded him to be our president. And
now you have Trump, right? And I'm not going to say dumb shit. I don't want to get over political. People hate Trump.
Yo, everything is okay.
Yeah. Everything's great, right? But to me, this is just broad.
You think he's going another 4?
So what was my statement before? My statement before was I thought we would never see a one-term president again. And then we had Trump. And
Obama went too.
Yeah. So I don't want, personally, Trump to go another 4. But the way politics is set up, at least the way I view them, it takes so long for policies, for change, for things to actually come into effect that it's almost made it necessary. And I don't agree with half of the shit Trump says, more than that. And I don't agree with half of the shit he's done. He's done some good, and there's a lot of people who won't admit he's done some good.
He came through with the business model. But we had jobs.
Yes.
Before everything, that's why he did good.
Yes.
Everybody had jobs.
But there's also people who take some of those jobs away from Obama and say that they're Trump's. And that's also wrong. People are like, oh yeah, but Trump's brought all these jobs. And it's like, but you had 8 years of Obama. That stuff prospers through. Same way Trump's policies will prosper through onto the next president, just like every other president before that. So we'll see what this year brings. If he wins, I'm not going to be happy. But
who you got to choose from him? Exactly. Sleepy Joe Biden?
Exactly. I'm not happy.
Hillary might just jump back in.
I hope not. Listen, that was the first time I voted for a president because I was like lesser of two evils.
Yes.
And I hate that.
Yes.
Like, I'm a Democrat. I never vote all blue. If you vote all blue, all red, right? If that's how you vote, you don't give a shit.
No. You're just going by colors.
You're just like, oh, I'm a Democrat. I'm voting
You're
Democrat.
an ABC guy.
You're not paying attention.
No.
Do 2 seconds of research.
Yeah.
Just listen. You can look up like bubble points and just be like, oh, I agree with this, I agree with that, I agree with that. And you'll find out there's some people on other sides that you might actually prefer.
Yeah.
People don't do that shit.
Nope.
Right? So
they feel like they're doing a disjustice to their side.
Exactly. So if if we get another 4 years, I won't be shocked. Because since I've been young, I've felt that every president from here on out will be 2 terms. Something
or a joke.
Well, yeah.
Or a joke.
It would have to be something really crazy. And we've seen some crazy shit recently that's going to end that streak. And the choices we have are pretty shitty. But we put them there. And people, like, we mentioned Kanye before. Like, Kanye might run for president.
No, he is. He said he.
Or he says he is. Like, it's a scary world.
You know why it's scary though?
Because
I can see him winning, and you know why?
And I can see people voting
because of Kim. Not because of Kanye.
Just because of Kim?
No, because of Kim. Yo, B, I'm sorry. Yo, Kim, I do this to you all the time, and I hope one day I'm not famous, so you don't like get this shit back at me. But yo, I'm sorry, man. You were an industry hoe. You sucked dick on camera. Yo, you were one of the first women that, all of us love to watch these bitches on TV. We love to watch them, but we never got to watch them suck a dick. Yo, we got to watch you suck a dick and take cum in your face. Yo, Kim, you are a fucking soldier. Soldier. Yo, these bitches can't do this shit on camera. None of these bitches do this shit on camera. You did this shit on camera. And yo, you thugged out because your mom sold it. And your mom told you straight up, yo, nigga, we gonna make money off this. Shut up. Shut up. We gonna make money. You said, okay. And you know what happens because of that? You guys have controlled the demographic of reality TV for the past 15 or so years.
And they'll continue to do
And that's why, if Kanye really is running, Kim is following, is the one that will boost him up. Watch.
Can I make a crazy point?
Talk to
And
him.
people are going to get mad. And this is one of the reasons why we don't talk politics, really. Right? I believe, in my heart of all fucking hearts, right, that religion doesn't belong in politics.
Why should it be?
There's a saying, some people may have heard of it, the separation of church and state.
Yes.
Right? And too many times in this country, too many times in speeches that we hear, too many times in things that are written.
You want to say God?
Everything relates back to God. Everything relates back to anything religious. And it's not everyone's religion, it's Christianity in some degree.
Because 70% of the world is Christianity.
Yes. Well, no, it's more Muslim. But maybe 70% of the United States. But I think world, I think it's Muslim.
Oh,
Muslim
really?
is the greatest, the biggest religion.
Oh, more Muslim?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe it's United States then. United States then. Maybe it's United States.
Don't quote
But I know. Yeah, don't quote. It's a podcast. It's a podcast.
This is all bullshit. You know what I mean? But that's what everything links to. And I'm sorry, I'm a spiritual person.
There you go.
Listen, I'm Italian, right? I'm a Catholic.
Catholic Italian.
I'm a Roman Catholic. I went to church. I went to CCD. I made
you got your confirmation. Me too.
I have a name. I did all that shit. I want to get married in a church. There's shit that I believe in. I believe in Jesus Christ to a degree. Because when I think about the shit that I've read in the Bible, right, I go, yeah, but science. Like, no offense, but science.
You know what the problem is that there isn't a... All right, when you get an album, right, sometimes you can get a deluxe album where there's an A side and a B side. When you get a rapper, you get his A quality, which is his commercial shit, and then his B quality, which is his street shit, which most people can relate to. With religion, they completely gave us an A side.
Yeah.
They did not give us the eligibility to think about a B side.
No.
There may be a B side. And it sucks, like, religion is so... I always bring it back to the only reason we are in the United States of America and even found the United States of America was because the people of England, when they were under Queen Elizabeth, the people there was a big argument between the Protestants and the church and the state. Even right now over there in Europe, what do they have? They have the church and they have the state. They're equal power. They're not one big. They have a whole big ass fucking building that I can't remember the name of that separates both of them over there.
You talking about the Vatican?
No. The Vatican's the church. There is a monastery or a ministry, some shit like that.
Okay.
Like it's like the governing court. It's like our White House.
Gotcha.
Where half of it is religion, half of it is church. I mean, half of it is the government.
Yeah.
So this is how they make their decisions over there. We came here in the United States because we were tired of that.
And you know what people will say to guys like me and you who have this outlook? We're just not religious enough.
Oh no, but what? Because we choose not to be the person that says, because this happened because of God, this happened because of God, this happened because of God. But then what happens, right? When you get hit by a car and you're not allowed to say this happened because of God no more because you're dead. Yeah. What? Is it dependent on your kids and your family to say, God took him because he needed us? Yeah. Wait. So that message that it was because of God is nothing more of an affluent message that is handed down? How do you really know? Do people really know what death looks like? No. There's nobody that's been dead to come back and say this is what it is. I came back as a butterfly. No, nigga, there ain't no butterfly talking to me.
Speaking of butterfly, though, like Hinduism, they believe in reincarnation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The more I think about the idea of reincarnation, it makes so much sense to me.
I can see it.
Like, just the idea of it, that we would pass away and come back as another soul.
Anything.
Like, subconsciously, we would come back as something. Christianity doesn't teach you that. You go to heaven, you drink beer, snort cocaine over strippers' ass, you have a great time up there, you party with Jesus, or you go to hell and you're breaking brick and sucking on coal and whatever the fuck you do down there.
That's what we think about when we think about Christianity and
Catholic. That's what we think about.
And the best life you could live.
Yeah, and there's so much divisiveness between...
Isn't that weird why Muslims say 99 virgins then?
Yeah, whatever it is. That's what they believe, right? And it's all based on a book that was hundreds of thousands of years ago.
That we never saw who wrote it.
You like comedy? You listen to stand-up comedy?
Of course.
Okay, do you know Louis C.K.?
You know my third alter ego besides podcasting and rapping is a comedian.
You do stand-up?
I've done it 4 times.
I've been trying to get the balls to do it.
So Eddie, Ed, when this all done, we'll go together to open mics.
I gotta do stuff. I gotta put something together.
No, bro, we saw. Joe, you can write it all you want, but it's a totally different when you stand up there and you say, "Stop looking at me," and they start laughing because they can't help looking at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just little things like that. Like,
so, do you know who Louis C.K. is?
Of course.
Okay, so he
Mr. Can I jerk off in front of you?
Okay, I have a whole big thing about that also. Hold on. I think
he's the man, yo.
Yeah.
I've asked bitches a couple times, and they all said yes.
He's my favorite comedian, and so he has a joke though, right? And his joke is every year on New Year's, right? We all celebrate the New Year.
Okay.
Right? Everybody, they go to do the ball drop, 10, 9, 8, 10, and then they flick to, China, and they flick to India, Germany, and all these places all over the world.
Like it's the same time.
Because it's the same time, and then the ball drops, and they're like, oh, it's 2020, right? And it's like, what's 2020 based off of?
A Catholicism calendar.
So who won? Right? Catholics won, right?
That's why the Jewish calendar is different, the Muslim calendar, they all have different calendars.
But why do we shoot to China and shoot to all these other countries, and they're still celebrating like it's 2020?
Good point.
It's 2021.
That's a good point.
Because that's what it's based off of. Because if you walked into...
But that's why I said 70% of the world is
But if you had a check, right, and you walked in and you said, it's July 7th, year of the rat, and you handed it to me, I'm not cashing your check.
No.
What the fuck is... If you drew a rat next to it, or whatever year, whatever religion bases it off of... 91.
91?
Yeah.
You're 2 years after. I'm the year of the snake. I think you might be the boar.
I have no idea. It might be. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we base our time off of is Jesus Christ. It's insane.
And you know what I really don't like about religion? I really don't like the fact that it is so connected to science because we get our horoscopes, right?
Science or disconnect from science?
No, it's so disconnected. I'm sorry.
Disconnected, yeah.
Because we get our horoscopes, right? We get the things in the sky, and why does religion's based upon every year, right? It's every month. It's something different where you see where you came from, right? You can go on the internet and find I feel this way because
yeah.
There's none of those things that religion can constantly and actively repeat for you because it's the same thing with them.
I don't think we took this.
Now we do. It's always active. It's not religion. Don't actively repeat something new. It repeats the same thing. That's why it's easier for people to focus on energy.
And there's also people taking advantage of that shit too, which is a whole nother thing.
Joel Osteen. You see Joel Osteen? You heard what he told these people?
He makes bank.
He said, God told me I need a jet, a G5, because I only got a G4. and you people need to help me get my G5. And Kanye was in the back like, yeah.
You see the stuff Kanye's doing with
the church and the
church
selling
and
the Bibles and everything?
Yeah. It's interesting.
But you heard the conversation he had with Kim?
I don't believe I did.
So he told Kim, why do you dress like that, man? Why do you bring yourself like that, man? I'm not trying to be like that no more. And Kim turned around and told him, you fell in love with me for being this person. Just because you're on this whole different trend right now, don't think that you have to change who you are in this relationship for me. You fell in love with me for this. She had to chin check him. And I think that's why he had the balls to say, fuck it, I'm going to run for president. You know why? Because Kim has gotten niggas out of jail already. Mm-hmm. Kim became a lawyer. Kim, regardless of sucking dick and all that, like,
She's done a lot other than suck a dick. I'm not,
it's amazing.
As you want.
But you know what it is?
The sisters, that's a whole, crazy.
Well, the sisters are a waste of bread, in my opinion. My thing is that if you're going to, in order to be an extremist and be looked at on an extreme level, you have to do extreme things. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I think everything that she did in her career helped her be this extreme person. That show became extreme because she was willing to do extreme things or accepted the consequences.
But look how much she set up her family, which is insane. What's the young one? Kylie?
You got Kylie, Kim.
But I'm not too big up on the history, but I think it's Kylie.
Yeah.
She's worth like $1 billion.
But she's a Jenner.
Agreed.
She's a Jenner.
Do you think she gets there if it's not for Kim's success?
No. They won't look at her. But she's richer than all of them now.
Oh,
because of her makeup line. Her makeup line killed them.
Good for her, though.
Oh,
if I had that platform, I'd make that money. That's like the same shit with Donald Trump, right? If you had $1 million, if I gave you $1 million head start, you'd probably make something of yourself.
Yeah, or die.
Or die. No, 100%. That's like real
if you give me $1 million at 20, I'd probably kill myself. Give me $1 million at 30, I'm gonna make something more. But if you give me $1 million at 40, I'd probably kill myself. I'll probably
burn it out.
You know what it is? I'll probably burn it out. Like at 40.
But I think that would depend on where you are in your life.
That's why. If I didn't make that $1 million already, and you're gonna give me $1 million at 40, I'm probably already wigging the fuck out.
Yeah, if you were doing nothing at 40 and then I gave it to you, different story. That's like a good couple of months. And then you're out the door.
Yo, if you ain't doing nothing at 40.
If you got shit like lined up, like if this podcast goes another 10 years, if your family grows, if you move out, if all that shit's like lined up, and then you got $1 million, and you're like, I could do so much more with my podcast. I could do so much more with my music. I could do so much more with X, Y, and Z. Like
what I feel, you can move something.
Yeah, you can move. It's amazing what this much. I mean, $1 million might be this much, but it's amazing what that could do.
Even more than that, you just said something. That 10-year thing That 10-year thing really just struck a nerve because Joe Rogan just hit on his podcast in December 10 years. And I'm the dick that goes back and looks at his first podcast. And when I look at his first podcast, where it was just him and his mans, remember how you say you have mics? And you know what they have? I had a computer here. You had a computer in your house. And somebody had a computer in their house. So it's 3 split screens with the worst looking audio, quality, worst audio. From day one, that's all he did. And he just kept, obviously, like the same way I got a rapping background, because I rap, I can bring rappers in. It's the same thing. He had a commentary background with Fear Factor. Yeah, people knew him as the Fear Factor guy.
But see, that's a big in, right?
That's a huge in.
That's a huge, like, we're talking, like, my guys were talking about bringing the podcast back. I've been wanting to bring the podcast back for months now. But COVID hit, can't be together. Zoom isn't a great place to set up a podcast.
I don't do it. I haven't done one yet.
It's tough.
I haven't done one yet.
How do we do it now?
I haven't done one yet.
Like, I don't want to disrespect somebody else's family coming into their house if they're not comfortable.
Yep.
Vice versa.
Yep.
Listen, if I had space in my house to bring people in, I'd bring people in all the time. People I trust. Let's be honest, right?
You're not going to bring a random, like...
Yeah, I'm not going to bring people that I don't know aren't taking care of themselves, aren't taking care of this. There's a different level to all of this, right? But...
Especially now.
Like, for you or me to just jump into online, just virtual stuff, that's bad for us. It's not the end of the world, but, Joe Rogan's starting there when he's already on Fear Factor, when he's already this, like, crazy martial artist. Like, people don't realize, like, the shit he went through, like, early on. Like, the black belts he has, all the shit that he has.
We got that shit from Eddie Bravo.
And then moving, like, constantly making these little moves. Like, his podcast may be the biggest thing about him, but then people forget he's doing UFC.
He's a comedian.
He's a comedian. His stand-ups early on are insane. He's been doing stand-up, since the 80s?
94. 92?
Like, crazy.
Him and Joey Diaz almost the same time.
Like, there's so much stuff that people just, like you forget about that stuff.
Yep.
Right? And for you, who does a great podcast with video and audio and stuff like that, when you have to lower your quality when you're starting, it's tough. And it hurts. Because you feel like you're not putting your best foot out there.
Yep.
But this COVID shit, is fucking up a lot of people.
See, but other side of that coin is that I got to witness them putting their worst quality out there. I knew sometimes when things weren't the best because I seen it before. Now I refuse. Like I completely refuse to make sure that my shit isn't always on point in a sense because I even though he has over 10 million fucking followers on YouTube, and Joe Rogan, arguably, without being political, without being a scientist, without being a guy, yo, he is honestly $100 million for Spotify just for 1 year. Yo, he is honestly more than the smartest man. He just shows you
so much shit.
Yo, this is the way it got to be done. So why don't I have $1 million mentality every time I do it?
Agreed. And you know what? He's not the smartest guy in the room.
No.
But he cares.
He says that shit too.
And he cares to be able to carry a conversation.
Yeah.
Which was my same thinking back in high school.
I think that's your heart.
Yeah.
Come on, you said it your first. Like, you were the leader of.
Yeah.
You knew that the carry was on you.
From the beginning, like my friends looked at me, right, and whether it was me putting it on myself or them kind of understanding that I was going to take the lead, like that's a big responsibility. But you have to know in your head that. Like, if I'm queuing to somebody or someone, then I got to be ready to come back with something.
Yeah.
Because this is the worst thing in a podcast. You ready?
You heard the pin drop?
Fucking nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. And not one-on-one. I'm talking 5 people in a room.
And nobody got nothing to say on something?
And everybody's got some shit to say. They're just not ready to say it.
Nope.
And they don't know why they're not ready to say it.
That's why you're the way you are. You are.
Dude, I would leave the podcast sometimes. I couldn't talk anymore. My voice would be all drowned out. I'd be dry. But I was okay with that because I love being with those guys. I love talking to those guys. And I want to do that shit again. And it's just tough to get everybody together. It is. It's not easy.
Of course it ain't. But
it's not.
See, I do have this argument within myself, and it's because I was part of a rap group in the beginning. See, so I was part of a rap group. You were part of a group.
Yeah.
When you're part of a group, when you no longer have that group, you have to learn from the examples of why you lost. Now, all the social things that I fucked up on, because I fucked up on a lot of things, you have to take responsibility for. But to see those people grow past that, you see your friends got these jobs with the city and all, they're still going past that, right? This shit didn't stop because it didn't work. It didn't stop you because it didn't work.
No.
Now, it's like, it's kind of, for me, I honestly, if I want it, I'm going to do it regardless of, like, not being able to have people around. Like, I only started Stop Your Shit because COVID. Because COVID, I couldn't have guests.
Yeah.
I couldn't have guests, and I still had
Stop
to
Your Shit was great.
It's awesome.
It was good.
I'm getting better numbers on Stop Your Shit than everything is okay.
You being face-to-face with a camera and a microphone,
and then
and
people
just saying your truth.
Like, people, like, emailing me, telling me, like, yo, I feel
you need to do that shit live. I don't know if you've thought of that.
Yeah, you think
but you need to do that shit live. You need to, once your audience gets there, once your basis gets there, you need to be able to take questions and go 15, 20 minutes on a question. And you can do that shit. You have the ability to do that shit. Yeah. So, I'm not saying every day. I'm not saying every week. I'm saying once in a while, you just sit down and be like, instead of pre-recording this, do this live. Or, hey, when you send out a podcast, let me get a bunch of questions from people that are asking. Let me answer them there.
Yep.
And let me be serious and honest.
That's how Rogan started too.
You got to get
it was a Q&A. All right. It was Red Band. Red Band started Legion of something in the greenhouse, and they were just doing a Q&A. And all of a sudden, they took it to Rogan's house, and that's all they did. 20 questions. They would answer a Q&A. And all of a sudden, it only took an email, just like it just took me to message you. Like, it only takes an email or a message to hit somebody and say, hey, I'm really, like, yo, you inspired me. Can we talk? And then they see your shit, and all of a sudden, you blossom into something like that. But like I said, like, that's why I say I'm a baby, because I see Rogan having all the interviews with these dope people, and
Uh-huh.
I'm just like you, bro. I'm an introvert, man. Like, yo, I hate sucking dick. I hate the fact that I find you interesting, but in order for me to get you here, I gotta massage your ego.
Yeah, no.
Fuck you. I gotta massage.
I would never do that to you. I was so hyped when you asked me. Like, when you said the shit you said to me, like, just the idea of you seeing the fact that I had a podcast and you knowing that you could do the same shit just inspired you. I didn't have to be your inspiration. That's not what I am to you. I'm just the person that you saw and you went, I could do the same shit. And that's all that takes. Same thing with my friend EJ with his New Generation podcast. Like, it was just the fact that he was consistent and he did it.
Yep.
And I was like, I want to do that.
That's
what
made
matters. He's not my hero.
Nope.
He's not the guy who's going to be everything for me. But him and his brothers doing that work, and I see that shit on my feed every day, goes, what the fuck am I doing? If they can do it and they can work their jobs, why the fuck can't I do it?
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure you worked this entire time during COVID.
Yeah.
I don't think anything stopped you.
No.
I'm an essential worker.
I'm an essential worker.
You're an essential worker. We got work we have to do. And there's a lot of people that are home and didn't get to do shit for months and didn't do anything during those months. And it was killing us that we couldn't figure out a way to do a podcast that actually made fucking sense, that wasn't through Zoom or some type of platform where the audio was shit, the quality was shit. And we didn't have the intelligence that you did to do stop your shit. And sit there and talk and be that person. And that's fucking smart. That's great shit.
Yeah,
that's how you keep going. Let me ask you a question. I was at a party years ago.
Okay.
Right? And personally, I don't know shit about the music side when it comes to rapping, when it comes to doing any of that work, right? But I played the cello.
I played standing bass.
I played cello for
I played standing
10 years.
bass. I played standing
bass.
bass.
Just wait. I played cello for the Pope.
Really?
Benedict.
Wow.
I went to Italy.
Wow.
I played in 5 cities. I played in Rome, Florence, Orvieto, Gallicano.
Oh, you a monster.
I played in Assisi. I played in a lot of places.
You should have made your own intro.
I played for a long time.
You have a cello at home?
I used to. I had to pawn it.
Oh,
I needed money. So when I went to a party one time, it was at City College. You know City College up in Brooklyn, wherever, Harlem, in Manhattan.
Yeah.
I knew a girl who was going there, and I was surrounded by all her friends because she was an upright bass player, and she was trying to do that professionally, and she was a great upright bass player. And I had some kid who was an aspiring rapper came up to me, and he asked me questions just because he wanted my input on what it would take to get him to the next level. And I told him this, and I want to see if you agree with me. Because I gave this person advice, and I had no reason giving him advice.
You ain't a fucking rapper.
Right? I told him this. I said, you could be the best rapper, right? You can write the most amount of shit. You can write the most amount of songs. You can give everything to it, right? But don't forget to learn the music side of what you're doing. Because if you think that rapping is just spitting words into a mic and nothing else, that's where you're wrong.
Yeah.
That you need to, like, there are artists out there that take beats from different people, right? And they get places because they got tons of money and people set them up and they want to keep them going. Or they
just had a dope freestyle.
Or whatever it is. But there are people that will sit there and they'll learn how to make a beat. And they'll learn how to understand why their tempo and why the shit that they're saying makes sense to a beat, right? And you need to put your energy into that shit also.
Yep.
Because me as a classical musician, right? I never got to make my own shit. I had to follow other people's shit, and I had to make sure that what they were saying made sense and why it made sense.
Yep.
So I told him, you do everything you fucking want. You write everything you fucking want, but don't forget to learn. You got to keep learning. You got to keep striving.
Yeah.
Because once you stop, and you're like, oh man, I'm just gonna write and I'm gonna freestyle, and this is all it is. You've already lost.
Yeah.
You don't give your chance the opportunity.
You hit the nail so hard on the head. Did you meet him? Did you meet him after you had a podcast?
This was years ago. This was 2010.
And that's what makes it really uncanny because, I know you had your podcast, and when you was actually in the position of being that man who was a rapper, you were a rapper.
Yeah.
If you think about it, what you had
Lyricist.
you just even you had to be your own marketer. You had to cut up your own shit, edit your own shit, put your shit up. That's the same thing a rapper got to go through. Just writing it isn't enough, because if I wrote it and I spit it for you and you're not my friend, you can go ahead and put it somewhere else. And I can never battle you on it because if you legally own the lyrics and you legally took what I had, that's you. That I can't do nothing about it because I didn't do my job. Writing a song is literally 25% of the shit because you got to let people hear it, and then you got to go to a studio to get the proper quality for it, and then you got to go ahead and put it on a fucking one of these streaming platforms. But you have to go through somebody to do it because you can't just go to Apple Music and say put my music up. No, you got to go to like CD Baby. You got to go to something else where it's like they put your music. Yo, it's like to see a song through, and yo, let's not even mention. See, the one thing I do love about podcasting that I am realizing, besides putting money into promotion, there's nothing else to put money into. I don't really have to pay for nothing else. With rapping, yo, I gotta pay for the session. I gotta buy the beat if I don't know him. I gotta.
Could you make beats?
Yes.
If you sat down, could you make a beat?
Yes, but let me ask you something. If you have 4 plants, if you have 4 seeds, and you have all 4 seeds in one pot, that one pot is your life. You're that pot.
Yeah.
So you put 4 seeds in that bitch. If you water all 4 seeds, one is gonna take from the other naturally.
Yeah.
So, being the fact that you know it's your pot, you have to take responsibility to go ahead and see which seed will be able to be the biggest stalk.
That makes sense.
I'm a victim though because I don't care about that.
So then my point is a little wrong in that regard.
No, but
like you don't want to take away.
I'll agree with you though, bro, because I'm wrong. You know why? Because all my friends, and all these people that they have this. I'm a rapper. I'm a podcaster. Yeah. I'm a this. I'm a that. Yo, they have these stigmas about them that I'm just this. I'm just that, and I'm not wrong because I feel like I'm holding myself back. You never fucking know when you just hit the nail on the head, Ed.
So, like, to me, like, the biggest thing that people say that is always used as a negative thing is you're a jack of all trades and a master of none.
And it's always a negative, right?
And it's always a negative. To me, personally, when I think about all the shit I know, all the shit I can do, not great, not amazing, but I can do and understand and I can focus on, and if I need to do it, I can. Right? That makes me a jack of those trades. Like, I understand them. I can whittle them out. Can I do them better than somebody who only does that thing?
Nope.
No fucking way. But you know what? I can do it.
I can hang with you.
I could try.
I can hang with you.
If you're going to teach me, I'll know more about that shit. And there are too many people that are like, I'm a rapper.
Yep.
I rap. I write bars.
Yep.
And that's all I do. And I'm going to take a beat from somebody else, and I'm going to just put my shit on top of it, and I'm going to be done.
Yep.
And it's like, but why?
Yep.
You can write a song, you can make the beat, you can put it all together, right? And yeah, I'm not saying you don't have to pay for time in the studio, and you don't have to put work in. There's always shit you're gonna have to do, but you can be like, hey, this tempo needs to go up a little bit, or hey, we need a little bit more of this, or hey, we need a little bit more of that.
And that's when you become an artist.
And that's when you become an artist. It's not just, oh, I just wrote some shit down on a paper, and now I got a really cool flow because I figured out how to slow down my voice, right? I figured out how to do this. Like me personally, like the new like mumble rap, right? I can't stand it, right? Because to me, it doesn't show your artistry, right? It shows to me that you were sitting down and you were like, oh, if I just don't make any sense to a certain degree, people are going to enjoy this. And it's like, cool. Like, good job.
What they did was...
But what did you do?
No, what they did was... What they did was... No. What they did was... It's not about wrong. It's that... With hip-hop, I've noticed, because I've stuck to the genre, every 10 years, the sound changes.
Of course. Has to. Or it does.
So, what they did was, with mumble rap, they cut out the fact that you needed to make sense in any way.
Isn't that crazy,
we're going to ride the beats.
Yeah.
We're going to say shit people can rock to.
Yeah.
But, if you look at my lyrics on a fucking page...
I got a beer?
Oh, yes, sir.
Sorry.
Look at my lyrics on a fucking page, it's not going to make any sense.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm going to take a piss. I'm going to stop this real quick. Look at him. Yo,
choke the shit out of that guy.
Yo, but you know it's crazy? He's getting ass whooped the whole fight.
Oh, yeah?
And this man, yo, he has a very good record. He's been beating everybody, and that's why he's crying, because he didn't expect to win that fight, man. Like, there's something yo, when I see UFC, and people, like, my friends make fun of me. I'm a groupie, so when I see a fight and somebody does good, I jump in their inbox on Instagram. Yo, 9 times out of 10, I got UFC fighters following me. They all answer me. Some of them repost me.
Yeah, especially
like,
if they're like
Ariel Hawani. Ariel Hawani reposted me. I was like, yo, you know who else reposted me? Donnell Rawlins reposted me.
That's insane.
I was like, oh, like
just like a tweet you sent out, or
no,
like
no,
a message?
On Instagram.
Okay,
I messaged them personally.
Okay.
Like I'm not on Twitter, and it's because of the same thing you said.
It's terrible.
You have to be focused on.
Nightmare.
Yo, bro, I'm fighting being a social media person now. Like I post things, and what you said is really true, man. Like not only the time taking in, but it's hard not to be insecure when you're looking at yourself saying something that you may know is going to disturb somebody, but you still got to do it because it's part of what you do. I just do it.
Social media is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
And for guys like us who typically wouldn't be out there like that, is fucking difficult.
You got.
I'm good on beer. I got it in the cup.
I got one left, so yeah.
No, I'm using it as an edge.
Oh, you got a full cup?
Yeah, I got a full cup.
All right,
good. Take it.
It's
a curse.
It is a gift and a curse, though.
Like
because you can really like when I see people have millions of views, I know, like unless it comes down to because YouTube will send you like I've gotten copyright claims because I freestyle over beats.
Okay, yeah, I saw you made a whole post about it.
Yo, I appreciate them not saying he can't use it.
And then I think I watched something where you said like you use somebody's beat. And you said if anything ever happens with it, I'll be the first person to come back at you.
Of course.
I thought that was the coolest, like the realest shit.
You know Old Town Road, right?
Yeah.
Old Town Road was a beat that was bought off a lease.
Really?
And after that song was popping, the label found this man and then found the guy that made the beat and said, yo, we're going to buy it off of you for this much.
But that's the way to do shit.
It's about working. Yeah. Fucking work. If Rogan's 10 years didn't show you anything, work. When you listen to a Rogan podcast, look, that's what he got laid out.
Yeah.
But if you listen to a Rogan podcast, every time, in and out, when he has a fucking person on that he really feels deserving, the first thing that he says to them is, why you don't have a podcast? Yeah. Yo, that's a man that's sitting at the top of a throne as a king saying, why don't you try to become a king too? Yeah. Yo, with he's not discriminating against. He's not saying, don't do what I do. He's not. No, he's saying, yo,
do it.
What are you doing? Like,
let me ask you a question. Before you started podcasting, how many podcasts were you into?
Oh, well,
we're gonna have very different answers.
That's what. Well, of course, because we opened up the conversation with that. Like, yo, I can't give it enough. I came up in episode 70 of The Artistry. We went all the way to episode maybe I think 102. That's 30 episodes of, and you can see it in the beginning where I'm just like, I think I'm trying to entertain people, and then you see it towards the end where it was just me completely being me may have been our downfall, but me completely being me erupted all of this. And when I say our downfall, I only mean downfall in that point in time because that's my best friend. I love that girl with all of my heart. Like, I'll kill for that girl. Just because we don't agree with things.
Artistically.
What she erupted in me, I had the example that I had was how to carry yourself on this. Don't give a fuck. Yeah. But I still had an insecurity because even on my first podcast, I gave, my first 10 podcasts. That's why I've had re-interviews with most of those people because I don't ever want to feel like I'm interviewing you. I'm not here for that. I'm not here
for a conversation.
I'm here for one thing. I'm here so other people can see that this is here. Yeah. Like, there's normal people in the world.
That's tough to do. It's not easy to have that type of reflection on yourself. Like for us specifically, like the 5 of us, we came every week with questions. We came every week with things to talk about. We came with like, hey, listen, I want to talk about something political or something that came up in the news. I want to just make sure that you know what we're about to talk about. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So if I brought something to the table and then you had no knowledge of that thing, that's terrible.
Yeah, because there's no conversation to have there. You're talking with yourself.
I can't bring up a news article or some shit that's important, and then you have no idea what the fuck it is about.
Well, you see, you know where we lacked, right?
What?
I'm gonna tell you something that I realized. Being
sorry, babe.
Being where being on that podcast, I did realize what was lacked. Like me and her always had each other's backs. When like this, there was times where, and I'm sure you had it on your podcast. Yo, a mic wasn't working, or like the audio ain't working. And you know, it's funny. You said I should do my shit live. Yo, this girl is so amazing because she pride on her shit being live. Yeah. Like, yo, her shit was always live. So,
but this is live.
This is live.
Like, people forget that.
But it's a difference when you tell everybody 6 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock they go look, and it ain't there till 6:45. Yeah. No, you don't got it on. All this shit going wrong. Yeah, like, yo, I've been witness to everything going wrong. Mm-hmm. I've always been the one. I've always been the person. Now let's fuck it. See it through. Yeah. Don't matter how wrong it is, what's going wrong, what's going left or right. See it. Let's see it through. Fuck it.
Yeah. Just roll with it. That was my big issue too.
What?
I wanted things to be not just me, but like there was some of us in the podcast that not perfect, but planned.
Okay.
And that's a huge holdup.
Yeah.
But when you know it's not planned, right, which is another thing that we kind of spoke about earlier. Like, we came with those topics because we knew we were talking to the same 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And if you're talking to the same 3 or 4 people, stories become things you talk about as friends.
Yeah, diluted.
And then it's not the same. You don't get that energy.
Yeah.
Shit I've said to you today, you've never heard me say.
Nope.
Shit you said to me, I've never heard you say.
But they've heard it.
And that's fucking strong.
Yep.
And it's tough when you want to do that with friends. Like, I've seen, there's a kid, Joe Santiago, who's on YouTube. He had millions of followers.
Okay.
He made a podcast and shit like that. And he does that with his buddies. And he's starting to lose shit. And you know why? Because he's doing it with his buddies. And it's the same shit over and over and over
again. There's no entertainment there.
And there's no entertainment. So now they're trying to come up with shit. That's when you go from podcasting, right, to being YouTube. And then from YouTube, you go to be a niche. And then from niche, you become the same shit constantly.
Yeah.
And then it's just this weird trend. And now you went from having millions of people and you had all this hype. And now you're just trying to maintain it. And you can't maintain it because guess what? You're not as good as you used to be. Because that shit doesn't resonate anymore.
No.
Because if we hung out every day, guess what? We'd have nothing to talk about.
See, but that's a double-edged sword.
Which is tough.
Nah, it is tough. It is tough. But I really think because being there, the way you said you had a topic, man, yo, being there, that was a hip-hop podcast. Yeah, we would both come up with our topics, or she would come up with, we would come up with the topics to speak about, but 9 times out of 10, we would get to maybe 3 of the 6. We like 9 times out of 10, something else will take us somewhere else.
Yeah, tangents. Tangents are great.
But that's my thing. You can have and let me correct no. Let me check myself before I say something reckless. No disrespect to your bandmates, to your crewmates that you came up with and everything that you've learned with them and everything like that. But there is a certain amount of torch. There's a certain amount of fire in your torch that you absolutely know that you have more than most. There's a certain amount of fire and
within everybody.
No, within everybody.
Yeah. Not specific.
No. Specific, I'm just saying for that moment of while we're podcasting, while we're having these conversations, and while we can't afford to have those moments of dead silence, while we are the ones. We're the ones that our strengths are to carry this bandwagon in a sense, not to just. Even if we speak nonsense, just the fact to have conversation to go next. Yeah. That's the bigger battery. If you're not surrounded in a room, like look at Gilly the Kid. Gilly the Kid. They got a deal from Barstool, and there's something in the air with where they shot their fucking podcast. That guy wants a certain amount. Like, yo, y'all shot it here, and now y'all offered money to be somewhere bigger. Can I get a certain amount? And supposedly Gilly was like, nah. We just shot it there. Why should we give you that? We produced everything. See, I find that thought to be selfish.
Yeah.
Everything takes everything to be anything.
Yeah.
It took me to be somewhere to develop into this, and it took somewhere to be in my heart for me to know how to do better or more. I know that there's not going to be, you know how many podcasts I've had I'm sitting across from some person and we're great outside talking, we're great in the store talking, we're great in my car talking, we're great smoking weed talking, but when you put them and you say there's a camera and mic in front of them, my man Brian Forrester, his back to the camera for the first 2 minutes and they're talking to me like this. And then all of a sudden, because of convo, At the end of it, he's telling me how he only picked these numbers because his family member picked them for him and he won the lotto and he fucking found us. And then he's like, yo, I had to stop cigarettes because I realized, like, I'm only going to be here for so long. You only get that shit when you break a person's shell. Know your strength.
Absolutely.
You can do this with anybody.
Absolutely, though.
You can do this with anybody.
My bandmates, right, in the very beginning, when it was 5 of us, 6 of us, when it was kind of rotating, we kind of picked apart each other, and we knew what our strengths were. Like my closest two, like Brian
we picked apart each other,
and Matt, they're hilarious people. And Brian can come with stories that last forever, and Matt comes with these quips and these one-liners that'll derail the whole fucking thing. But that's beautiful. That turns a conversation into an adventure, into a conversation.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
But you need
facts.
But when you get to that,
because now you want to know why.
Yeah, but when you get to that one point where nothing's going anywhere anymore, and you're really fighting to like draw something out of somebody, it takes somebody to take the torch. And when you're doing it like you do it, or where I was trying to lead,
doing it,
and I just need a small break. I just need a small, like, I got to drink a water, or like I got to recheck myself. I need somebody to be there for me. And I knew that about myself. And I was hoping somebody would stand up. And I was hoping somebody would take the reins. And not that they couldn't. They just didn't realize that I needed that sometimes.
And that was the best part about me working with her. You know, there's a lot of times where I've been checked because of things that I say or they were left field. But I go by the character for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm just not always there. She was my partner to check me.
Yeah.
She would check me. She would give me the eye, or like, yo, she would put me in a placement, and then it would put me straight where now she would open another conversation I can deal in, because she obviously knows that I wasn't right in this one. Yeah. I had that with her. You know, even being with her while doing this, though, I notice myself when I have conversations with people where I grip my teeth sometimes because I'm like,
yeah.
And I go ahead and I correct them because I noticed. All right, you could think like that, but do you see this other side? Yeah, I see that. As long as you say that, I'm not. That's all I want. You know, I just want to be able to carry. That's why I say we have a character trait that is better than most. We can carry conversation. Yeah. Like
some people can't. Some people it's hard. This isn't easy.
But they're geniuses.
Exactly.
They're fucking they're fucking genius. They can do anything. They can write you a whole book. They can spit this math to you. When you're going through shit with your shorty, they're the best person to be with. They're a best friend to write music with. You can do all these things, but when you put them in the place where this is your space, they can't always show and perform, and you can't blame them. Can't blame them.
My guys were great. Like, I can't say enough of it. Like, I don't want anything I've said to make it seem like I was the pinnacle or the guy who's holding everything up. That's how I felt.
No, but
that's
I think
how I needed to be.
You know
what I mean?
And if you guys don't realize it, you know, like, I ain't doing fucking millions of numbers, but I'm hitting my 1,000 peak. If you guys don't realize it, it's because of what you guys did is the reason why I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the work and effort that you all put in at all times. Like, you led with the conversation of your friends appreciating them, their jobs, what they did, and what they brought to the table.
Trying to be mindful, respectful.
Come on.
Like, our best podcasts are the podcasts where we came in together and we had 50 things to talk about, but something threw us into some fucking other thing, and then we ranted for minutes.
You never did drugs on your podcast?
Oh, no. We've talked about it. We talked about drinking. Like,
I know we can't do it now because our jobs.
We wanted to make it more social and stuff like that. Like, there's other things that we wanted to do that we just, because we're in somebody else's space, because we're like, you still got to be respectful, right?
Yeah, very mindful of everything. Right? This ain't yours.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, there's all those conversations happening. We want to get to that place where we're more comfortable. And I always say, like, the minute I move out, the minute I have my own space, is the minute where shit like this takes off.
Yep.
Because then you can be truly you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
you can say what you want. You can carry yourself how you please.
And like, I have a lot of friends. I have good people, you included, that could come on and talk and really fucking talk and have a good fucking time.
Yep.
And that's what you want.
Yep.
Right? Like,
that's what makes the flower blossom.
Cheers, bro.
You know, people.
You doubled me up.
People, doubled me up too. Damn, you take the whole thing? Good. No. people, I think that's what people don't grasp onto, but when they finally do, like, my first podcast that I've ever saw, I won't forget it. I used to listen to Joe Budden podcast, and
He's another character.
But it's great because you notice, son, we notice we notice the unaverageness in people. When they're not average, we know it.
Yeah.
Fuck what you work, but your unaverageness, as long as you're not hurting nobody, we can appreciate that. It fuels people like us. So when I first saw him on YouTube, I was working for CVS. I just got my job, and I used to always watch him on YouTube. And what I would used to do is I would leave my phone, like with YouTube, unless you buy a YouTube Premium, you can't put it in your pocket and listen. It has to play the video. Mm-hmm. Now, the phone I had while I was working kept fucking hitting the knob or knocking off. And finally, my dumbass opened the fucking description. And it said, listen on Spotify. Once I did that, I found Rogan. Listen on Apple Music. I had an Apple phone. Oh shit, this is free. Then I found Diaz. Yeah. Then I found this, and I found that. I was just like, wow, it's a slippery slope.
Which is why we did that shit. Like, we made sure. Like, we paid for SoundCloud.
Yep.
We paid like $150, whatever.
Oh, you paid for the premium?
I paid for the premium because files our size, our audio size, they don't fit. You do an hour on a podcast, you can't upload that shit.
Well, you know the trick now? No, you know the trick now?
No.
You cut it in two. You're not limited. Cut it in two pieces.
I'm not doing that. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to do it the right way because I know me as a person, if you posted a podcast where I got to listen to half of it and then I got to pick up the other half.
No, you won't even hear it. You see the same way that you sat there and you with GarageBand? Yeah. What I'm telling you is that I upload all my podcasts on Anchor. Through Anchor, it goes to Apple Music, Google Podcast. Yeah. It goes to, I think, only 8 platforms.
Okay.
Where my man pays $10 a month and it goes to like 1,000. Don't get me wrong, he gets his views up, but I only have it to a specific amount, and all I did was, like, because I had this very technical issue, I have 3-hour, 2-hour, 4-hour podcasts.
So, like, hours, I pay for that premium program, right? Because I can upload and I can keep everything, right? To us, it made sense. If the 5 of us split $130, $150, whatever it is, it's nothing. It's chump change. It doesn't matter. Right? And at least I know everything's put together, everything's there, and then everything gets uploaded to everything else. I don't go do a fucking thing until I upload it to SoundCloud.
SoundCloud did that for you? It uploaded everywhere else?
Everywhere else.
For what, $100 a month?
$100 a year. A year. Done. Like this. The only thing I got to do is I got to put it on Twitter, I got to put it on Instagram, and I got to put it on Facebook.
You got to do
but I got all that shit linked. Right? So, like, when my members of the podcast kind of slowly bogged out because of work and whatever else I had to do, we brought on Justin Singleton. I don't know if you know Justin. Justin is good friends with Jam.
Yeah, I know Singleton. Yeah, that's dope.
Dude, he was on the podcast with us. His wife was on the podcast. My girl was on the podcast. We found people to put onto the podcast to keep it going. Not because me and Matt or me and Brian, whoever else was there, couldn't do it ourselves. Because we wanted other voices.
Yes.
Sometimes it's good to have.
How long ago you started? Give me your first episode.
3 years ago, 4 years ago.
And you had the mech on.
I'm not sure. We have one podcast. This is a funny story. I'm just going to go into it because we didn't get a chance to go into it. I got one podcast that's like close to 10,000 listens. Just one.
On what?
And here it is. So we did podcasts, like I told you, where we had like specific topics and bullshit. And I told you I used to make shit up.
Yep.
Right. So there was podcasts where I'd play dumb. I play stupid.
Yep.
We do all this shit. So somehow we got onto the topic of K-pop. You know what K-pop is?
Of course, I heard that podcast.
Korean pop.
I heard that podcast. So yes, I tell you, your last 5 podcasts,
yeah,
you were really on, and I think that's when you noticed to activate.
Yes. So that podcast, right? That podcast, I made it as if I never knew what K-pop was or what it stood for. Right? I didn't know that.
It makes a lot of sense now why you talk like that.
So it makes it seem like I don't know that K in K-pop stands for Korean pop. Right? So if you go on my podcast page and you look at it, it says J-pop. Right? J for Japanese. Right? So we're talking all this shit. It's not racial. It's not biased. But guess what? Those hashtags that say K-pop and J-pop and all that shit, everybody in Japan and Korea, they're listening to that shit. And they're furious. They hate me. Right? and I get hundreds of hits a day.
Yep.
A day. I'm not, to this day, if I go on, we haven't uploaded in a couple months now, maybe almost close to, I'd say a couple months now. If I go on my SoundCloud and look up the views, that fucking thing gets hits every single day. Because people go, some dumb American doesn't know what K-pop is, right? And it's fucking hysterical to me. My favorite thing, I don't know about the...
SoundCloud gives you all your analytics?
Yes. And it's only $100 a year, or $130, whatever it is a year.
And it puts it everywhere?
Puts it everywhere. I just link... My friend Matt did all that. Don't ask me how to do it. I can hook you up.
I'll do it.
Get him into conversation to help you. But I upload to SoundCloud. It goes to iTunes.
No, they do
Apple
that.
Music,
They're the same way with music. Like, in order for me to put a song out on Spotify, I got to go through, like, CD Baby or something. Or BMI or ASCAP.
I just go straight to SoundCloud.
But that's what SoundCloud is. SoundCloud is the
similar thing.
It does. It puts it everywhere. I didn't know that.
So
for
I do that
$100
for $130, and then it tells me who's listening, where they're listening, how many times they're listening, how many times a week, how many times a month. I get all my analytics from SoundCloud. It's beautiful.
Do they promote you too?
If I want them to, absolutely. You might have to pay for it, whatever it is. But if you hashtag correctly, which is what I was telling you about earlier, it fucking helps a lot.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many views that one podcast has just because I'm a fucking idiot. If you listen to that podcast, you go, there's no way this motherfucker is that dumb. And the reason is because I'm not that fucking dumb.
No, you did that shit on purpose.
I did that shit on purpose. People think, even the people that I was sitting at the table with are like, there's no way this fucking guy's real. It's because I'm not. I'm trying to get you entertained. I'm trying to bring... You're listening to me because you want to be entertained.
Yes.
Right? So I'm going to do the best I can to fucking entertain you.
Yes.
And that's it. My friends sitting around the table, they're funny as fuck. And they'll bring funny shit. Guess what? I'm going to play dumb as fuck.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring that shit out even more.
Yep.
And I'm going to get them mad at me, and they're going to get mad at me, and that's what it's going to be.
Yep.
You know? And that's what I enjoy. I don't want to sit down on a podcast, not 100% of the time, but I always don't want to be this real. I like being this real. No. This real is great.
But you want to have your fun.
But I want to have my fun.
You want to have your fun, and that's the point of it.
And I want it. If I got 5 people at a table, I want all 5 people involved. I don't want 3 people talking and 2 people kind of waiting to say like a funny joke. No. Get involved. Be part of it. This is about you too. You're here.
Even if you're wrong, it doesn't
matter. Shit don't matter. But like I said earlier, like we had certain rules. So those rules kind of narrowed us. So you could only go so far.
Well, narrowed you.
Narrowed all of us. Because certain people can say certain shit about me. Certain people, it's a weird game to play.
I won't lie. Like coming to the end,
it's fun.
Coming to the end though, like with me and her, certain things were like, don't smoke weed on the podcast, don't smoke cigarettes on the podcast.
Because she wants to be professional.
I've only learned putting things in cups because
the
of like her, and the branding, like things like that. But I did notice, certain things start to change. One thing that is a constant though is like how you are and what you look for is your constant. Like, even if these things are gonna happen, people aren't gonna always be like involved or enveloped or involved in what you do, and it's a bitch sometimes. Like you spend your time on cutting up these clips where you had to delete moments of silence and things like that. It's a bitch. That's why, like, hello, you hit the nail on the head. I see. You say it like being funny or like saying you don't know. I just call it playing dumb.
Yeah.
I like when people give me their opinions because I want to know more. Like, all right, why you think like that?
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Exactly.
Give me more. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, give me more.
I'm dumb.
And when they get so deep and so intricate, you're like, I didn't expect
You give them their moment. And that's what's necessary.
Yes.
People don't get that. I'll play dumb.
Nobody gets their moment.
I'll play as dumb as I want to play. People think I'm stupid, or people think I'm big and stupid, or whatever it is. And that's fine. But I'm trying to get the best out of you. This isn't... The podcast we created wasn't Eddie's podcast. You know what I mean? It was our podcast. And that's what I always wanted to be about. So if somebody's a little shy or somebody's a little quiet, I want to say shit that's going to get them involved.
Facts.
That's what I'm always thinking about.
Facts.
So like we tried to be very proper and prim, where I'd be like, hey, welcome to the Squoze podcast. Here's X, Y, and Z. Everybody would say a thing. My friend Matt would try to fuck me up, say something dumb, get me to laugh. Like, that's good. I want that shit. But do that throughout the podcast. Yeah. Fuck me up. Fuck fuck all of us.
Always be here.
Always be here. Be present. Omnipresent. Be part of it. Because I don't want a podcast where, like, we didn't run as long as you run. Right? And that's okay. Because
no, we're the same. You got 40 episodes.
Yeah, but my episodes are like an hour to an hour and a
half.
half.
Don't matter. Don't matter. I for me as a fan, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm being honest, man. Like, yo, when I went to SoundCloud, and I did this 2 weeks ago. When I went to SoundCloud, because that's like I was listening to them, like, yo, like it doesn't get me discouraged. It doesn't make me hate you, bothered by you. You know what that shit did for me? I was like, yo, these niggas. And then when you listen to them, and yo, E, you do have the most resignated voice.
Absolutely.
But yo, when you hear the fact that you guys go, I didn't know that was you putting in all that work with the editing and doing it. No.
Yeah.
I just heard it as a fan.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted. I wanted people to listen and enjoy the ability to listen.
Yeah.
And sometimes that gets overlooked. But that's also what kind of hurt us. You know, it's hard to think of it from an editor's point of view, from a creator's point of view. You want to give the best you can give to everybody who's listening.
Yes.
But sometimes, like your podcast, and this is not disrespectful at all, being live, being unedited is real shit. And some people like that. But our mentality, our group mentality, was let's try to just be a little bit better. Let's just try to be a little bit better. And like if somebody said something wrong or something fucked up, or like somebody made a joke that went too far, because I got friends that go too far. Like not politically, but like
in general,
dead baby jokes, like jokes that you're like, oh shit, like that shouldn't be. I don't want that attached to my name. Now I got to edit that out. And I got to make sure that this still seems seamless. And for somebody who doesn't have any background in editing at all, that was tough. But I did it because I love those guys. And I love being there with those guys. Right? Yeah, but that skill takes time.
No,
it takes effort.
No, but you're right. But like I said, I brought it. I said it before about that $1 million thing. Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right, man. That skill, that talent, it takes time. Not only to do, to learn. Yo, it was a bitch. It is a bitch. But you got to get when you're a person needed in that moment. Yo, it might not be you. It might just be a clip, right? Like, let's say you do your podcast and you have it with the team and it's so great, but there is a 1 minute clip that just fucking straight goes crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, you cut that 1 minute clip. You know, that 1 minute clip is the one thing that you had influence in. So for you to make that 1 minute clip up, you had to learn how to cut it. Yeah. You had to learn what to look for. Yo, you had to learn how to look back at your podcast and think, somebody wants to hear this.
Yeah. And
unexpectedly not know 1 million, 2 million, 300, 400. Yeah. Yo, unexpectedly, you never know. That's why, like, you have to stay on it constant. Like, this constant thing is a bitch. Like, so many people put me down because they ask me what I am. They ask me, yo, what are you? Are you an entertainer, a podcast? You a comedian? You a rapper? Like, what are you? You a producer? Like, what are you? What do you do? And at first, yo, I swear, it was my neighbor that actually asked me, why the hell do you want to start a podcast for? What do you got to give to people? And everything just came full surface to me. And I've been learning the reasoning while I'm going, but I completely stand firm in my 2 feet to say, just because I like doing it. I love it. I love it. Yo, I'm not gonna, things don't always go right, and they may not always go right. But when I sit here, and I don't have to fight myself on what's next. I don't have to fight myself on what to do, what's next. I don't have to fight myself on what I can do. Once I stopped caring about who's viewing me, once I really put that shit in the side, like, yo, view me, don't view me, it don't really matter.
Yeah.
I have more people that have more bad stuff to say about me now than I've ever had before in my life. Like, yo, I've had so many bad things about the things I said, the character I am, how I carry myself, how dare you, why you be disrespectful. Yo, there be even people in my house that will bring topics of conversation to me. And all I have to do is stand firm in my 2 feet.
Yeah.
The only way you can do that is with what? Love.
Yeah.
Yo, I love it. Yo, I love it. Yeah. You can't take away. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go hit the head, baby.
Where is it?
Oh, shit. Yeah, let me show you.
Sorry.
Hey, yo.
So, to your point, this is what happened to me early on.
Okay.
Somebody asked me why they should follow us, right? And what our best episode was.
What did I tell you before about my neighbor? He
right?
fucking fucked me up when he said, why you should do this.
Exactly.
And I got that email. Yo, My uncle hit me up. Not to cut you off. Keep
No,
that.
of course.
Yo, no, because it's so. My uncle hit me up, and so you know Big Pun.
Mm-hmm.
Big Pun's friend
R.I.P.
was a man called Reef Hustle.
Okay.
Reef Hustle, I performed for about 4 years ago, July 4th, on my fire escape in the Bronx, where my family lives. I performed for him.
That's cool.
Now, my uncle wanted to bring him on my podcast. Everything is okay, but Reef was asking, "What's his best podcast? Like, what's his numbers?" So my uncle hit me up like, "What's your numbers? What's your best podcast?" And I got really, really offensive because I say, "How dare you? You know, like if you believe in something, it doesn't matter what the best is. You believe in it, right? So you're gonna represent it." So that's how I took it. Like
100%.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Go.
So what I got was they wanted to know what my podcast was about, and I said, "Listen."
Good luck.
I said, every podcast is different. I was like, every podcast is funny. Every podcast is us. It's like, if you want to listen, listen.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me what my best podcast was. Not numbers-wise like you were asked. But when I think back to what my best podcast was, you know what I say?
What?
I have no fucking clue. You know why?
How could you ask me that?
Because it's subjective. Everything's best to somebody else. What's good to me is not going to be good for you.
Nope.
But if you do yourself a favor and listen to 10, 15 minutes of each one,
Yep.
You'll find which one's good for you.
Yep.
You'll understand what we're about.
Yep.
You'll get the vibe that we're trying to put out.
Yep.
And if you don't like that, don't fucking listen.
It's just you aren't obligated.
You're not. I'm not forcing anybody to listen to the shit that we put out. Listen, I may have X amount of views, right? I may have X amount of listens. I might have X amount of likes. That shit doesn't matter.
Nope.
If you're not there to listen and be engaged, I don't really need you. I don't care if I'm making a podcast for 2 people, 10 people, 20 people, but I know I'm making it for me and the people I'm doing it with, and the people that I share it to.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like, and that's why I couldn't give, like, and that, like, if you're gonna come in here, and I've had it a couple of times where people are like, "Can I be on your podcast? Can I talk with you?" And I say yes, but the one thing that I always tell everybody, you know what you're coming into?
Yeah.
Like, and they say, "What do you mean?" And they all know me. Most of the people know me because of V and the artistry. And they say, "You know, you're coming into a mine. Like, have you seen an episode?"
Yeah.
And they say, "Yeah, I've seen that. So you are interview people." I said, "No, I don't interview people, man. I have conversations with my friends. Like, yo, if I don't know you and you want to be my friend, I'm all inviting with the doors. But if you want to be my friend on my platform,
and nowhere else,
I have to, even if it's not nowhere else, just if you're asking me, like, if you met me somewhere, it's different, and you try to be my friend, but if you're asking me to talk to me on my platform and be my friend, you give me all advantages to ask you, why should I?
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? So what's up? Like, what you been through? What bothers you? Why are you like this? Like, and I know, boom, I know we're going to leave conversation. I'm going to light a cigarette for it, too.
No problem.
Because I know you didn't want to mention it like previous, like, your growing up problems, your growing up pains. But I can't help but notice, man, like, yeah, you've always been the biggest person in town, Ed. Like you, your brothers, your whole family. Like, if I walk up to 10 people in College Point right now, I guarantee 4 people will know either you or your family.
Or have seen us.
Not because
100%.
It's not because of rapping. It's not because of music. It's not because you guys own businesses. It's not because you guys start shit. You don't kill people. You're not drug dealers. Nothing like that.
It's because we walk around.
It's just because you walk around and being how you are. In your house growing up, like, and good. We got to it at the fucking root. Yo, how was that growing up in your house? Like, did your parents tell you that you're gonna be fucking looked at for the rest of your life?
No.
Your parents didn't tell you,
yo, bro,
you're bigger than everybody.
No.
Yo, you're
doesn't matter.
Everything
that I learned, everything that I was taught by the teachers that I had growing up. And that's serious.
Teachers?
Teachers.
What, like in school?
Like in school.
Get the fuck out of here. How?
My parents are good people. My parents, I have stuff in my life I don't wish to bring up, but there's stuff in my life that isn't great. There's stuff in people's life that isn't great that they probably don't want to bring up that was much worse.
But on schools, you better bring it up.
But on Squoze, we haven't brought much
Squoze?
up.
No,
we bring some shit up.
Nah, you understand, yo. Yo,
Yeah.
Ed, all respect, like you tell me,
100%.
and I ain't disrespecting you.
Yeah.
But the fact that you know that your strength in that ring, being a podcaster on your podcast, is Iron Mike.
Yeah.
Yo, you have to start dabbling into your personals.
And I'm not saying I never will.
No, I know you won't. But
there's
know that shit.
There's a part of me, and there's a part of
we all want to know it. Like people want to know it, yo.
But
we envy. Look, yo. You may think that how you look or how you feel or I'm overweight is insecurity. Mm-hmm. Yo, bro, I'll tell you as a fucking person that's small into you, there's probably nothing I would love more than to put my hands on my belly and just chill and love a beautiful woman loving me. Yeah. Yo, Ed, you got a beautiful woman loving you.
I do.
For whatever and you feel like as a man and all this shit. Absolutely. Yo, all that shit means nothing. All this weight means nothing. Yeah. It's your heart. Yo, your heart makes the person.
100%.
Like, and the way
the person, my girlfriend is everything. Like that's not, yeah.
I know.
But like 9 years together, there's not much that escapes a relationship. Nope. It's true.
Nope.
She loves me in and out. I love her in and out. Yep. And that's what it is. Yep. And people pressure us all the time. Oh, why are we not married? Why aren't we on this?
Really?
But there are other things in life and things that come up and that are more important that need to be private. I've lost friendships. I haven't been as close to people that I'm super close with because we choose to keep some of that stuff private.
Yes.
And there's no way of making somebody understand that.
Nope.
There's not.
Because they're not part of it.
And I love those people, and I will forever love those people who are closest to me, 100%. But there are certain things that just can't be said. Not ever.
No.
Right now. You know what I mean?
When they come out because they came out naturally.
Yeah.
You're not going to force me to talk about what I'm going with.
And then there are people that are in different stages of life.
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship for 9 years. That's a long time to be in a relationship. And some people are like, oh, that's your only relationship. That's why you're there so long. No, it's not.
Is that the first girl?
No. But people think because I'm fat, or people think because I'm big, that's the only girl I've ever been with.
Yo, wait, hold up. I'm sorry.
But you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. Wait. I would love to meet those people. Are you telling me? No, because you're telling me because of your stature and your size, people automatically think that's your first relationship?
Yes.
Yo, hold up. Ed, before you even go further, my stepbrother. Yeah, fuck it. Everything's okay. All right, boom. Because I have to talk with myself. So, all right, so my stepbrother, 100%. He's a year older than me, but he's shorter than me. Yeah. But my stepbrother has always been the man with the six-pack, the muscles, he's Chinese and Puerto Rican. His fucking physique is Bruce Lee. And then I got the biggest insecurity slap in the face as a 16-year-old man when I saw my stepbrother had a dick like a fucking... Yo, that shit's like 18 inches, bro. He's Chinese and Puerto Rican and he's light-skinned. Like, when I got to witness that, like, that's why I said, like, I gotta bite my teeth. But being honest, when I got to witness that, when I got to see that in that man, but still I fuck way more beautiful women than him. And, that having that stature doesn't make the man.
It doesn't.
The man makes him. Having that woman that you have doesn't make the man. You've been the man before that.
But people, like I said before, like we talked about earlier, people look at you and they have predisclosed notions about who you are, what you've done, and what you've been through.
Till you put your dick on in the eye.
So somebody my size, even now it's probably like around the heaviest I've ever been. They see somebody like me walk in a room, and they're like, how could that person ever love somebody that big? Why is that person with somebody? But this is real shit. You know?
You're right. I
had a whole life.
I'm
almost 30.
You're being so honest with people that are like, and you know, it's weird. Like, it's not weird, but I don't see you as a big person, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Like, I don't see you as a person that is like unfortunate from love or like I really don't see you like you're missing anything.
I'm not, and I don't ever claim to be.
I feel like you're the fact that you know how you are gives you the biggest strength in the world to be an equal or better than anybody else around you.
This is a true story. I was in high school, right? And I was in my Italian class. We had Italian as like second language.
Okay.
Right? And there was a kid, I'm not going to mention his name for respect for him. And he was a heavy kid.
Okay.
But he was a heavy kid that was a slob.
Everybody knew you was slubby. Everybody knew he was heavy.
You kind of like, you're heavy, but like, not only are you heavy, but you don't give a shit.
No, he shows it. He
like,
shows I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
You waddle. You don't give a fuck. I've never been that person. I'm a big guy.
You insecure?
No. I've benched 400 plus pounds.
I love you. Yo, like, thank God to meet you. I love it. Like, hell no.
Like, I've benched 400 plus pounds. I've leg pressed over 1,200 pounds. I've done deadlifts out of close to 600 pounds. You probably got to dig down to
your leg too, though.
It's this big. It's
I know.
The smallest
it's a piece deal. It's a piece deal. Me too. I know, bro.
Real tiny.
I have a piece deal. Me too.
I piss my balls every time I
me too.
But that's what people think. They don't think I'm anything.
Yep.
But the sports I've played, the activities, the shit I've been through, people don't see that.
Nope.
Right? You see me when I stand very proud. My shoulders are always up.
That's why you're very different, though.
People think, though, that I do that to, like, show off.
No, you're very different.
That's my physique. That's my body. Like, I put so much work. Right, I'm a fat guy. I'm not saying I'm not.
No,
there's a lot of laziness in this. If I like dedicated,
we're talking about the work you put into your heart to be that fat guy.
That's true though. But back to the story's point, we had like a discussion in class where I was pissed. I was pissed because this kid existed. Right?
Why?
Because he gave me a bad name.
Oh, I was giving you a bust down. Okay.
No, it's okay. I just needed a drag.
Okay.
He would show up and be lazy and not care and like not do anything, and people would compare me to him. Meanwhile, I'm heavier than he is. Nobody knows that because weight is relative. I'm 6'3", he's 5'4". He could be 200 pounds. I'm still 400 pounds.
Yeah, I look the same.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So, but he would make me look bad, and people would compare us. And I'm like, don't you ever fucking compare me to that fat fucking slob. And people are like, how could you say that? You're just as fat, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. I don't have that mentality. I don't have that sit down, do nothing bullshit. Look at me, I'm a fat pig, fuck that bullshit. That's not me at all. Like, you don't know me if you think I'm that guy. Right? You'll know me as the guy who, when we step on a basketball court, I'm looking to bust your ass. You know me as the guy who, when I step up to the plate in baseball, you ain't striking my fucking ass out. I'm hitting it over the fucking fence. Right? And there were kids in this town, and I can't name them, but kids used to show up to my games to watch me play.
I'll beat them up.
No. They used to watch me play because they were impressed, and they couldn't believe the shit I did at my size. You know what? 450 pounds, I could do a full split. You know that shit?
You 450?
Right now I'm 440. But I'm just saying, like, I could do a full fucking split.
Nigga, you a half. Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big motherfucker. People don't get that.
I can't tell that, though.
But I stand like I fucking am somebody. Because I am somebody.
I feel like you're right next to me, though. Like, I know we're totally different, and I know if you touch me, you probably move me. But
I don't fit in your door. You understand? I have to duck to come in here. Like width-wise, I have to go sideways and duck. You get that? Like, wow. I'm that big.
Wow.
People see me, and people look. They don't get it. But people just think I'm lazy. People don't think I don't do anything. People just think I eat.
Yo, Christian?
Christian's a big guy.
Yo,
Christian, I was scared of when I was younger.
I've seen Christian run from a fucking a dog and like I've seen Christian fit in the fence. Christian is the most athletic person out of all of my friends probably.
When we were younger, he was like that too.
Yo,
who was the girl he used to be with when we were young? I don't know if he's still. Her. What's her name?
They have a kid, Nikki.
I remember the two of them when I was like 4 fucking years old. Do you understand
that?
The two of them and you are so ingrained in my mind forever, right? And that's on love. That's like they. If you ask Christian who I am or Nikki who I am, they probably have no idea, and that's real. But like from my age group, I looked up to the three of you and I was like, those are fucking cool fucking people. Like they know what's going on, and that's on real shit. But they have no idea who I am, most likely. But I always knew that the two of them would be together.
I really don't think anybody has any idea who you or your brother are. Like, I don't know your youngest brother, but I swear, like
he's not like us.
You and your oldest brother, man. Like, every time we would have a conversation with you or him, like, and now that you say that, all that bullshit about cars, like, cause I'm a car head. There was no casual conversation with your brother. It was always about some woodwork or some fucking some machinery or something. Like, everything. Like
you could give my brother a headlight or a taillight. He'll tell you what year the car was made, what it's for, how to fix it, how to put. My brother is one of the smartest men when it comes to that shit I've ever met. And I mean that. And we don't talk much, right?
Really?
Just because we don't live together anymore. But and he's got his own problems and his own things and his own trials that he's going through. But there's not a day in my life I would ever disrespect that man and the knowledge he has.
That's so great.
He passed high school because I did his homework, and he'll attest to that as much as you know what I mean. But if anything ever went wrong, that man's there for me, and I know that for a fact.
Fact.
You know, my little brother's a whole different story. Great kid. You know,
he's your little brother though.
He's my little brother. He gets away with a whole lot that I got away with.
Little brother though.
Yeah.
Come on, like yo, I never forget. All right, so my sister fell into a no, you got one there? Oh, good. My sister fell into a coma, right?
Yeah.
So during that time, they let my parents know if she wakes up from the coma, she might be a vegetable. If we ride this coma too long, her heart's going to explode because she was on dialysis. She was on machines to make her breathe. It's too much for her body to endure. She was only 18. So my mom had to make the rough decision. Pull the plug. Like, do you want her to fucking wake up and be a vegetable? And nobody, like, for the past almost year, we've been seeing her go through a hematoma. She lost her hair. She being on chemo and being on the pills, yo, like you see her, like sometimes she's not all there. It's almost like looking at your family member who's a dope head sometimes. Like she's not all there, and then I'll never forget getting a call from her at 11:30 at night while I'm at CVS. I'm in pain. I can't. It hurts. And yo, I gotta leave. I went right to the city, and I won't forget, bro. Parking right in front of the building, and calling her, and asking to speak to the nurse and say, "Yo, can you give her medicine, please? Listen, she had it 3 hours ago. I could only give it to her 4 hours. Yo, can you do me a favor, please? My sister's in pain. I'm downstairs. I'm gonna come upstairs. Can you give her shit?" Gave her shit. She went to sleep. I'll never forget all the times of being there for this person that you would like. Ultimately, what I was given was an ultimate sleep. Everybody had to deal with the ultimate sleep. Yeah. My friends that all weren't there and everybody that wasn't there during the situation, everybody had to deal with a decision had to be made, and my mom made that. My mom, as a woman, as a person who has a child, like, you have kids?
No.
Yo, I don't have kids neither. And the kids that I do have are one of my best friends, and he ain't here right now because he died. And to not have him and to have his kids, and to not have my sister going through these situations and during these times, I mean, you know, I had to go ahead and bite the bullet when my brother came in that room. Yo, when my brother came in that room, and everybody knows that at 1:00 p.m. they're gonna pull the plug on my sister. Everybody knows it. At 1:00 p.m. I haven't seen you in months. You don't call. That's my stepbrother. Yo, he's not even my stepbrother. Brandon, you my brother. Yo, since I've been 4, he was 5. His father has been my father. He has been my brother. Yo, we first discovered that we had dicks together. We saw porn together. We jerked off together. This is my brother. This is, yo, I gave him women that I've been in relations with, but they were like, yo, I want to fuck him. Yo, this is my brother. I remember fucking arguing with a white boy that was in Pathmark when it was Pathmark and not Stop and Shop.
When I worked there?
That walked up to my brother and go ching, 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 chong. And my brother didn't know how to deal with it, but he was shorter than me and felt so disrespected that I remember that guy came outside and I fucking laid him out. The first guy I laid out at 10 years old for my brother. Like, I know what it was for that man to deal with it, but for him not to love me, for him not to have no love to my family, for him, when my sister passed away and show up to this thing, the only reason I grabbed the balls enough to not to beat him up was because my sister. And I don't believe in this Bible shit, this God shit. Like, spirituality, halfway. You know why? Because of energy. I know you good because of your energy. But halfway. If you crush me, I can't say that it's because of a God.
Yeah.
It just happened, right? Like,
yeah.
When for him to come up, for me to put it off, I only put it off because while she's not here in that moment, I have to honor it. I can't tell you the honest truth that I'm not gonna fuck him up. I can't tell you the honest truth that if I don't see him now, that I'm probably not gonna.
Man.
It's a bothersome. Like when you have
someone you care
when
so
you
much
have
about.
family members that are there for one another, man. Like I know that it must have been like for me. I've been so separate, and I think my high schools. I went to 5 different high schools. That must show you how much like distortion I had in my own family. You know, you guys had to deal with a big ass feat of being the ones that are always looked at, that are always expected of. Either you're expected to be the biggest in the room, beat somebody up, or you're expected to be the dumbest in the room. There's always expectations of a
100%.
person that is bigger all the time.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit. For you to appreciate your brother the way you appreciate your brother, it really means echelons. It speaks galaxies because it's like I wish I could honor my brother like that because he's older than me. And for the way that he turned his back looking like a coward, even to this day, man. Come on. Like dad's birthday just passed. You know what I mean? He ain't getting older. That's not my dad. That's your dad, my brother. That's your dad. That's my stepdad. That's your dad.
Can I say one thing? You have a chance, though.
For?
And you shouldn't waste those chances to fix that.
He has a chance.
I'm not putting this on you.
No, him.
No, I know. I'm just saying, don't squander the opportunity if you can make it right. Not you, in general.
Oh, of course.
Don't bury the hatchet when you know there's still a way to save it.
Do you think that's a fucking do you think that's a
Do I think he's right? Absolutely
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about us. Do you think that's a default? The fact that you see the way what you just said is exactly what I know in my heart. Man, he always has a chance to make it right. Just like we always have a chance to be right.
Yeah.
I think that's in our heart though. Like we really can't help this.
But there's a big part of us which is kind of back to the political commentary we had earlier, where it's you're willing to listen, but you're not willing to change. And it'll be the hardest thing you've ever had to do in your entire life.
It's the scariest
is
thing.
to listen to that man after how you feel and to be like, you're still my brother. And I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying the first time it happens, or if it happens, which I hope it happens for you, that you're going to be able to pull through that. But you got to know that, and I'm sorry to say this, but you did lose a sister.
Huh?
And your brother's still here.
Huh?
And there's a chance. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm not saying it's going to work 100%.
No, of course.
But
there's a chance.
Don't wait for him to make the move.
Oh no, I don't. I haven't. I've always been.
I'm not trying to, put this on your shoulders.
Everything is okay. You understand why I have people in here? I have people in here because I'm willing to go ahead and be absolutely vulnerable, and I'm willing to go ahead and I have to listen to what's given to me. Yeah. It really moves my heart, the fact that you notice, man. You notice your 3 brothers, your 2 brothers. You notice, you notice them. You notice
I try to.
who they are, what they are, and what they did. It's more than that. It's more than you try. It's all that you are. I think that your woman appreciates you because of all that you are. The fact that you're always this person of giving out of love. Yeah. Listen, I'm the same way. It's just the fact when you realize that you hit a wall and there's only 2 options. It's either you keep giving love and being yourself, or you try to make something forcefully happen. And honestly, before my stepfather dies, he's on dialysis. He's an old man. He's done. He lost his daughter. The only will he got to live is my mom, his wife. That's the only will he got to live. Before your father, boom. All right. Boom. All right. No, because you just quoted me. That's why it hurt me. Before that man leaves, there is a man that's still there, and he birthed you. My stepbrother should give this man the utmost appreciation.
100%.
Even if you can't beef him, you don't agree with him.
It doesn't even have to be 100.
Bro, just call him and tell him happy birthday.
It doesn't even have to be.
You don't call him for Christmases. You don't call him for birthdays. You weren't there. You were only there for my sister because your family said your sister died. Like, yo, you're not a righteous person. Like, that all that stuff makes your heart black. I wish he would open himself up to that.
Sometimes the time of day is enough.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be 100%. It has to be the time of day.
What did you say before that I stopped you on?
It was that
What was it?
Don't forget yourself. Like, you're still part of that. Like, he still has you.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, he still has me, but you know what the problem is? When you only feel like yourself is relevant, nobody else matters. That's what it is. Like, there's a certain amount of selfishness. Listen, everything my stepbrother is, that's what my stepfather is. My stepfather lost our house because he was a degenerate gambler. My stepfather, even now, like, I had to that's what it was. Just last weekend, I had my stepfather in my house, and the weekend before that was Father's Day. Yeah. On Father's Day, on Saturday of Father's Day weekend, my mom came with me to New Jersey. I brought my mom home at 1:32 in the morning. But my stepfather was giving her a whole bunch of grief as, why do you go out? Why do you chill? Why do you drink? How are you doing this to me? Blah, 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 blah. So Sunday morning, I called my stepfather to wish him happy Father's Day. And he starts going off on this whole crazy tangent about my mom, and I had to chin check him. Like, yo, don't talk about my mom like that. Yeah. You need to relax. You smoke cigarettes. Don't talk about her drinking habit. Boom. If you want to lead by example, be the example. Boom. Yo, I came at him so crazy 2 weeks ago. Last Sunday, we went fishing. We went to George Island Park. Caught no fish. Afterwards, they wanted to go to a barbecue for my grandfather who lives in College Point, but it started at 3. We got back at 12. We got back to my house. My mom stays with the kids. Of course, my mom lost her daughter. My mom, like, yo, she's the biggest, littlest woman in the world, where it's like, yo, I swear, you mean my mom? All she wants to do is smoke weed, chill, and drink, and have beautiful conversation with you and tell you how much she loves you. That's my mom. I just want to love you.
Sounds good.
So when those kids get her,
yeah,
it's just perfect. I got him last weekend. I had to play Call of Duty and look at my screen and keep playing and keep talking with him, because while we were talking, I just kept crying. I know how much I hate him, but I know how much I love him. Yeah. I know how much we've been through and the things that we can't correct as men. Yeah. Listen, I'm a product of both men. I do things selfishly. I've been a cheater. I'm an asshole. I don't give a fuck about people. I've stabbed people in the back. I'm a product of all these things, but I made these decisions. For him to come to me and say, I made these decisions, but the one thing that I ever made good in my life was deciding to love a woman like your mother. For me to get that as a kid that comes from a broken home, I don't got my parents, I got a stepfather. Yeah. It just everything all around, and it's not like he was like the best stepfather in the world.
Doesn't have to be.
Lost a house. No, he wouldn't have to be.
Doesn't have to be.
Just him showing me in that moment how much he appreciated the things that he did fuck up, but the things that he worked for and still love him. It shows me at the end of the tunnel there may be some light if I'm the way I am. Yeah. I can be the way I am. Like you're. I love my girl. I love her. And I said I wouldn't say it. I said, but I love my girl.
Same.
There is still a very big part of me that feels like there is more for myself. That whether or not there'll be an eligibility for me and another person to stay in this love communication, happens or not, myself, it's not that I'm selfish. Yeah. Myself, there's a bigger picture. Mm-hmm. I can't have my mom without her lover living in a shelter. I can't have these kids without a place to be. Like, there's bigger pictures more than what your heart calls for when you really listen to what your heart calls for.
Not everything is cut and dry.
No.
And too many people
front and center.
Too many people think you love this person, it should be this way. There's so many things that happen, like you said, between your family, between your stepfather, between your mother in general, that even from somebody like me who doesn't have a broken home, No offense.
No, you got good mom and dad.
My parents
They
are still
love each
together.
other?
That's a different story.
but
that's a different story. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff.
You noticed that though.
Of course. There's stuff that my family's been through that I don't wish to disclose, but there's stuff that's happened within my family when I was younger and now where I know that it's become a problem for me.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend knows it.
You got trust issues?
Because after 9 years, it's hard to not see certain things.
You got trust issues?
Not with her. Not with my girl. But I have issues with love, I think. And it's not that I don't love my girl. And it's not that I can't love her unconditionally.
We're not talking about that.
But that's not what we're talking about.
You got issues with internal love.
It's issues with that. It's issues with thinking that...
You got trust issues?
It's thinking that you should... The people that are in your life, that the people that raised you, the people that were supposed to give you everything, the people that are supposed to hold your hand through everything and teach you everything, weren't those people. You know? And they could still be together. They could be separate. You could have new people that are put into that life.
The example is tainted.
But the example isn't right.
It's tainted.
It's not right. And so, for me personally, I've built the image of what it's supposed to be in my head. And that's the image I live by. But you can see it. You can see it in my actions.
You gotta say it again because I think more people need to do that for themselves. Say it again.
It's the
you
image,
made an image.
It's the image in your head that you follow. It's not the image that was presented to you. And that takes a long time to understand. My father is a great man. My father did great things to take care of my family. My mother's a great woman. And she did great things to take care of my family. Right? They could have been better. You know how hard it is to say that?
Yeah.
You know, you as a kid, see your parents in a certain light, and you see the things they did for them. And I will love them forever for what they did for me.
Yep.
But I don't know if I love them.
Yo, you know what the problem is? I say this a lot, man. We all got this. It's not unfortunate, but we can't help it, man. We see our parents as our heroes, eh?
Yeah.
Like, yo, our parents are our heroes. They're never supposed to fail. They're never supposed to do nothing wrong. They're never supposed to fuck up. Like, our parents are our heroes. Our parents are the ones that, yo, whenever anything's wrong, what would my mom do? What would my dad do, right? Like, and we got that image of, yo, they're just people. Yo,
I find like in times of crisis, when shit hits the fan, when your sister passed away, when, I don't know if your parents are divorced or what happened with your parents, when that happened?
My mom and dad are separated since I've been one. Okay. And like I told you before, narrative was different between them. And then I had my stepfather at four. And between them, my mom, like I witnessed my mom, she used to get beat up by a man, like his name was Ralph. Yo.
It's tough to see.
Yo, he used to fuck her up.
But you have a friend that passed, and you're taking care of his kids, right? Is that the image that I understand?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
Trying to.
I love that woman.
So, to me, when you go through things like that, that's when you find out who you are. That's when you find out what you're capable of. That's when you find out that it doesn't matter what you learned in school. It doesn't matter what your parents taught you. It doesn't matter what you learned online. It doesn't matter what you read. There's something in you that just kind of activates. Mm-hmm. And when that activation happens, you know it's there. Mm-hmm. And you can go back to being the normal you and just worrying about playing video games and doing work and doing whatever the fuck you have to do. But you know within you that if shit hits the fan, you're ready. Yep. And some people don't ever get to witness that. And it's tough. Because when shit hit the fan for me, right, I got to see you in my family who was ready and who wasn't. And I found out that I was ready. I'm not saying, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus.
No, I just asked you, everybody in your family, you know, to some extent, you got to take a responsibility. And it may hurt people to tell the truth.
I found I was ready.
That's all I found. Like you were the one with the most strength at that time being.
Yeah.
That's all I asked.
And that's a great thing to find out. And it's
the worst.
Fucking horrifying.
It's the worst. It hurts the most.
It does. It does.
Because they've been living here for how many years and y'all can't figure it out?
Because the people who should have been most prepared tend to not be prepared at all. And that's when shit goes bad. You know? So we've been through a lot. We've talked about a lot. I know I got to get going. And I feel like this is a good place to wrap just because I'm a podcaster and I get that. So I want to say thank you for having me here. I want to say I want to come back here. I want to say I would like to do another one because there's so much shit that we still have to talk about.
Of course.
I want to plug my podcast.
Of course.
Please, when you have a chance, check out the Squoze. Squoze. We'd say dumb
everything.
Shit.
Go ahead.
You know, I can't wait to see this again. I can't wait to listen to this again. And I can't wait to have a conversation with you again.
Sir.
And I hope whatever you're going through in life is better.
Ed,
and I appreciate
you
this.
and I, I'm going to end it on this, but you and I'll be honest, Ed, I honestly know this. Like, I know you're having a difficulty problem bringing your crew back, but you being the voice of your crew, Ed, I kind of think that they will jump on this bandwagon when you really
jump into
recognize. It. Yo, Ed, yo, here. Yo, here. Like, yo, here. All right,
yeah.
I want yo, here. Like, yo, that ass, yo, do it. Like, yo, the thing, like, you, honestly, seeing you is what gave me my battery because this is our town.
Yeah.
Ed, we've been here too long.
CP.
This is our town. And we have totally different demographics of people who listen to us.
100%.
But this is our town. And the fact we brought this connection, it's going to make this more. I hope you freaking
I totally agree.
Should be like,
you don't understand, like, it's crazy to the impact that you may have had on my life that you don't even realize. But I started this podcast, like, you've done things for me that you'll never understand. Like, the image of cool that I've had in my head for years, the you know, this is weird to say, but you sold me, like, drugs for the first time. Like, I think that's weird to say, but, like, I respected you so much for taking the time, and even when we worked at Pathmart together, and we didn't work the same job, but the fact that you would take 2 minutes just to have a conversation with me, because in my head, you know, I should never have had a conversation with you.
Why?
You were because to me as a kid, you were somebody who was above. I mean that with respect.
No,
but like you were so cool to me. It was so nice and respectful.
How much I was on your level that you knew, like, yo,
I appreciate
was catching up to them all the time.
I appreciate
just like
that.
you.
Yeah.
And it weirds me out the fact that you being this figure, like, yo, not even your size, just your figure, your image, who you are. If you were my size, you would still be you, bro.
I appreciate that.
Like, yo,
I really do appreciate
it. For the fact that you notice someone like me, so that speaks volumes because I have been noticing the fact of the impact you have. Like, yo, you and your brother really, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Wait till I bring you around everybody. They're going to be like, wow.
I appreciate
when
everything.
they see this podcast of you and me talking, I guarantee
I can't wait to see
this is on the fucking slope of taking over the CP shit, yo.
Thank you.
This is ours.
Seriously. Thank you.
Ed, this is
Thank
ours.
you for having me.
No,
I
thank
mean
you for coming, man. Thanks for being part of this fucking town, Ed.
Real shit.
Kill that shit with you. Yo, it's your boy OK. Everything is okay. I'm with my man Ed in the building. It was such a good day. Yo, thank you.
Thank you.
So, can we conclude on we're taking over College Point
Absolutely.
together? Yo, his arms are bigger than mine. That's not fair.
Just a little.
A lot. That's not fair.
Just a little.
Fuck. Yeah, he looks like that guy beating up that guy. Yeah. I really enjoyed having you today.
This is a great time.
Thank you.
I can't wait to have you on my podcast.
I can't wait to have you.
We're coming back. Squoze coming back.
Squoze
coming back for sure. Check us out. SoundCloud, Instagram, wherever you get your podcast, we're there. All right, check us out. We're funny as fuck.
Spell it out.
Squoze, the Squoze podcast. It's a lot of fun. Join us. We're coming back. It's going to be big.
Give it up.
Thank you.
Everything is okay, even when I'm not. Time to bring it to the table.